How's life? I don't know. It's alright. I've been dealing with some things like every human being and really didn't sleep much last night. I'm sorry. That's fine. I just think I need a little me time. I just think I need a little free time. A little break from the shows and the bus rides. Yeah. Last year I had a breakdown. Thoughts telling me I'm lost, getting too loud. Had to see a therapist and I found out something funny's going on up in my house. Yeah, started thinking maybe I should move out. You know, pack my car, take a new route. Clean up my yard, get the noose out. Hang up my heart, let it air out. I've been searching. What does that mean, Nate? I've been learning. Grabbing my keepsakes, leaving my burdens. Well, I brought a few with me. I'm not perfect. Looking at the view like this concerns me. Picking up the cues right, I'm quite nervous. Hating when I lose sight, life gets blurry and things might hurt me. It's probably gonna be a long journey, but hey, it's worth it though. Cold world out there, kids, grab your coat. It's been a minute, I know, now I'm back to Rome. Looking for the antidote to crack the code. Pretty vivid, I admit it, I'm in classic mode. The only pity given to me, but I can't condone. Talking down to me, I'ma have to crack your nose for cracking jokes. I'm looking for the map to hope, you see it? Been making a whole lot of changes. Wrote a song about that, you should play it. I get scared when I walk on these stages. I look at the crowd and see so many faces. Yeah, that's when I start to get anxious. That's when my thoughts can be dangerous. That's when I put on my makeup and drown in self-hatred. Forget what I'm saying and where'd the beat go? Oh, ain't that something? Drums came in, you ain't see that coming. Hands on my head, can't tell me nothing. Got a taste of the fame and upon my stomach. Throw it back up like I don't want it. Wipe my face clean off my vomit. OCD trying to push my buttons. I said don't touch it. Now y'all done it. I can be critical, never typical. Intricate with every syllable, I'm a criminal. Intimate but never political, pretty visual. Even if you hate it, I'll make you feel like you're in it though. You call me what you want, but never call me forgettable. Leave you deep in thought, I can never swim in the kiddie pool. Waited, I've been thinking the cinematic is beautiful. Man, I don't know if I'm making movies or music videos. Yeah, the sales can rise, doesn't mean much though when your health declines. See, we've all got something that we trapped inside that we try to suffocate, you know, hoping it dies. Try to hold it underwater, but it always survives. And it comes up out of nowhere like an evil surprise. Then it hovers over you to tell you millions of lies. You don't relate to that? Must not be as crazy as I'm. The point I'm making is the mind is a powerful place, and what you feed it can affect you in a powerful way. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, but it's not always safe. Just hang with me, this'll only take a moment, okay? Just think about it for a second. If you look at your face every day when you get up and think you'll never be great, you'll never be great. Not because you're not with the hate, we'll always find a way to cut you up and murder your faith. I've been developing, take a look at the benefits. Nothing to meddle with, I can.
First, real quick. Just give me a second. Let me check that. Boop boop boop. Let's go to my channel. Sorry, everyone. Give me a moment. I was messing around with my audios. Channel. There's no audio at all. Dead. I was messing around with my audios. Where's my audio?
Much though when your health declines. See, we've all got something that we trapped inside that we try to suffocate, you know, hoping it dies. Try to hold it underwater, but it always survives. And it,
like I said, it took me like 4 hours, 3 hours. I've been doing creative.
take a measurement to back it up and give me the evidence. Pretty evident, dependable, can never be tentative. I'm a gentleman, depending on if I think you're genuine. Pretty elegant, but not afraid to tell you to get a grip. Proper etiquette, I keep it to myself when I celebrate. It's that time again. Better grab your balloons and invite your friends. Seatbelts back on, yeah, strap them in. Look at me, everybody, I'm smiling big. On a road right now that I can't predict. Tell me tone that down, but I can't resist. Y'all know that sound, better raise your fist. The search begins, I'm back, so enjoy the trip.
Why isn't my audio working? Hello? What's going on here?
Hey Nate, how's life?
Hello?
I don't know. It's alright.
Okay, let me check this one more time. Sorry y'all, I don't know what's happening. Still no audio. Okay, I don't know what the fuck's happening here. Properties. Why isn't my microphone working? got rid of all of those already. And no worries to excuse me. Hello, test. Test. Running out of time. Any test. Oh my god, we're back. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Let me check the audio one more time just to be sure. Okay. That took me like almost 10 minutes to figure that out. I don't know what I did. All I did was just switch it and then switched it back again. Almost 10 minutes. The audio cut out. I don't know what I did. All I did was just... Dude, the audio's so quiet. Oh my god. Whatever. I think we just have to roll with it. Okay, hold on, everyone. I'm sorry. This is taking so long. I don't know what's wrong with my audio right now. I tried
really didn't sleep much last night. I'm sorry.
I tried to make it so y'all can hear me better, and I somehow have made it completely worse. How much time we got? 14 minutes. My volume is at max right now. God, dude. I'm like an hour late to my stream and everything's breaking. This is exactly what I didn't want to have happen. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Can you forgive me for this? Please. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. It's stressing me the fuck out. Okay, I'm gonna just listen to this back real quick. I'm gonna try and add a voice gain so I can like physically just turn up the volume more and see if that sort of makes a difference. For anyone watching right now on YouTube and Kick, I'm sorry, okay? I don't know what's happening. My audio usually isn't this bad. For anyone watching right now on YouTube and Kick, I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn it up to about 3.5, and then we're just gonna wait. I'm gonna say 3.5 one more time. 3.5, and then we're just gonna wait. I'm gonna say 3.5 one more time. 3.5, and then we're just gonna... Dude, that's still quiet. This is insane. I'm so sorry, bro. Well, at least we still got time, right? We still got time. I'm just... God, I should have did this yesterday. I should have did a test stream first. Oh, God, dude, I'm sorry. God, I should have did this yesterday. Okay, that's a little better. I'm gonna turn it up to... Let's do 6.0. Okay, I'm gonna say it. 6.0, 6.0, 6.0, 0.0. Okay, I'm gonna say it. 6.0, 6.0, 6.0, 0.0. Test it again. 6.0. Say it. 6.0, 6.0, 6.0. Test it again. 6.0. Say it. 6. Okay, that's a little better. Forgive me, everyone. I'm like. I can't make this shit up. I can't. Well, like, literally just me, right? Is any other streamer, like, having a problem right now with this? Is it just me? Okay, 9.0, 9.0, 9.0. Just me? Okay, 9.0, 9.0, 9.0. Just me? 9.0 one more time. 9.0, 9.0, 9.0. Just me? 9.0 one more time. Okay, we're getting... I might just have to turn this shit up all the way to the max. Maximum volume, please. Let's do... 13.3. 13.3. 13.3. 13.3. 13.3. 13.3. 13.3. 13.3. 13.3, one more time. 13.3. 13.3, one more time. Oh my god, okay, that's as good as I'm gonna get it. Okay, god damn it, I'm so sorry, everyone, I'm so sorry. I'm not even gonna be talking for most of this anyways, to be quite honest with you. I'm so sorry that took so long, y'all. Okay, I need to accept this.
already given to me, but I can't condone. Talking down to me, I'ma have to crack your nose for cracking jokes.
Okay, give me a second.
Been making a whole lot of changes. Wrote a song about that, you should
Is
play
this gonna have
it. I
problems
get
too?
scared when I walk on these stages. I look at the crowd and see so many faces. Yeah, that's when I start to get anxious.
Okay. I am so sorry. Okay, we still got like 13 minutes? We still got 13 minutes. So let me just let me just talk, okay? First of all, I'm sorry that that took so goddamn long to fix. Forgive me, okay? 100% my fault. I should have tested the live yesterday before going to bed just to make sure everything was set up properly. So basically what happened is when I have it set up as a scheduled live stream, it doesn't actually automatically start even if auto start is turned on. So basically what was happening is every time I did start it, it didn't actually start the stream. So I had to delete the upcoming live stream, which means I had to redo my title and everything. And then it worked after resetting my computer like 2 times to figure out what was happening on the YouTube side of things. And then the audio was messing up for most of that. Don't know what happened. I deleted all of my filters just so you guys can hear me better. Because doing the Game Pass video, I realized my mic audio does show up pretty decently when it's just on its own. So I had to figure that out. And then I deleted all of those. And then all of a sudden the audio just completely disappeared. Didn't know what happened there. So then I switched my audio to the console audio, and then I switched it back to the microphone, and then the audio showed up. But it was extremely quiet, so hopefully this is good enough for now. Like I said, I'm not going to be talking for most of this event anyways, because, you know, I'm an Epic partner now, so I get to actually, you know, listen to the music and stuff and not get, like, copyright striked or anything like that. But yeah, forgive me for that. I don't know what was going on. I apologize. And also, I do apologize for being late to everyone on YouTube. I was supposed to start this like an hour ago. I went to the stores and to the bank to get rent paid, and then I came back and I had like 5 minutes left to start the stream, and then I had to put some bread and eggs away and stuff like that, and talk to your favorite officer for a little bit because I didn't know he was home this whole time, which is the guy we're playing with. Plus his partner is here as well. But yeah, just forgive me for that. I'm sorry that everything kind of went wrong, but we made it with like 15 minutes left to spare, so good shit. And I'm just going to get on my promotion out of the way right now. To everyone that plays Fortnite, please use creator code TheTrueAura in the item shop. I don't know if I can actually use my own code for this, but if you just put in the True Aura into the item shop, I believe your code disappears every like 2 weeks or something. But yeah, if you use code TheTrueAura in the item shop, it does help me. It doesn't help me as much as you think it would, but it does help me just a little bit. So, before the new season starts, just use creator code TheTrueAura. I greatly appreciate it. Any income I get from that, I would be putting towards better content. And what else did I say in that description that's no longer there anymore? Just better content and better maps as well, because I'm making a Fortnite map. So yeah, use code TheTrueAura in the item shop. And everyone that is watching on YouTube, either now or in the future, either now or in the past or somehow in the future, make sure you are dropping a like and subscribing if you are new. Please, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start earning ad revenue again, so please subscribe if you are new. In the description, you can find my Fortnite creator account that you can go to. My map isn't published yet, but you can do that on there. And then, what else is in the description? I don't remember. I think that's it. But yeah, use code TheTrueAura in the item shop. Subscribe if you're new. Everyone on Kick, make sure you guys are following and subscribing if you are new as well. I'm only going to be reading YouTube chat because I have a shitty computer and I can't read both chats at the same time, so please forgive me for that. Okay, what else? I think that's it for promotions. And share if you want to, but the best thing you guys can do is like, subscribe, and also just watch. The longer you watch, the more it supports me, basically. So thank you. And just I don't know, leave a comment on what you're excited for Chapter 7, I suppose. And yeah, I think that is everything. You have my creator code. You have my videos there. You have the link in the description to my Fortnite creator profile. And yeah, I think that's everything. So forgive me once again for taking so long to get everything set up. I apologize. And yeah, I think we should begin.
How's life? I don't know. It's alright. I've been dealing with some
I will
things
get
like
rid
every
of
human
the
being and really didn't
the
sleep
ads
much
when
last night. I'm
the
sorry.
event starts.
That's fine.
The
I just
event is
think I need a
scheduled to
little
be
me
around
time.
like 30
I
minutes,
just
I
think I need a
believe,
little free time.
with
Little break
copyrighted
from the
music.
shows and the bus
But
rides.
because
Yeah.
now I'm an
Last year
epic
I had a
partner,
breakdown.
I can actually
Thoughts telling
post
me I'm
music
lost,
and not
getting
have to
too
worry
loud.
about
Had to see a therapist and I
like
found
losing
out
copyright,
something funny's going
or
on
not
up in
losing
my house.
copyright, but
Yeah,
getting my
started thinking maybe I should move out.
demonetization
Pack my
basically, but
car,
I don't
take
get
a new
monetized
route.
anyway, so
Clean
it
up
was
my
never a big
yard,
deal
get
to
the
me
noose
to
out.
begin with,
Hang up my heart, let
to
it
be
air
honest,
out,
but
air out. I've been searching.
yeah,
What
now
does
I
that
can
mean, Nate? I've
use
been
the
learning.
music
Grabbing my
within
keepsakes,
Fortnite
leaving my burdens. Well, I
in
brought
my
a few
videos
with me.
without
I'm
really
not
having to
perfect.
worry, so
Looking at
that's
the
awesome.
view like this concerns me. Picking up the cues, right? I'm quite nervous.
And
Hating
should
when
I
lose sight.
talk
Life
about
gets blurry.
like
Things might hurt me.
the
It's probably
Simpsons
gonna be
season
a
and
long
stuff,
journey,
or
but
maybe I'll save that for another video, I don't know, but
world out there, kids, grab your coats. Been a
I
minute, I
spent
know
the
that I'm back
entire
to road.
month
Looking for the
just
antidote to crack the code.
creating
Believe it, I admit
my
it, I'm in classic mode.
Call of Duty
Don't be greedy,
Zombies
give it to me, but I
inspired
can't get no.
Fortnite map.
Talking down to me,
It's
I might
almost
have
ready
to
for
crack your
release.
nose for
I
cracking
just
jokes. I'm looking for the
I
map,
am
hope you
delaying
see
it by a
Maybe
little bit
making a
because I
whole
didn't
lot
want
of
to release
changes.
it at the same
Wrote a
time
song
as
about
Chapter
that, you
7's
should
coming
play it.
out,
I get scared
because
when I
everyone's
walk on
going to be
these
busy with
stages. I
Chapter
look at
7
the
and all
crowd,
the
see
new
so
stuff,
many
so
faces. Yeah.
unfortunately, just like GTA 6, I do have to
That's when my
delay
thoughts can be
my
dangerous.
map coming
That's
out
when I
by a
put
little
on my
bit,
makeup
but
and drown in
just
self-hatred, forget what I'm
forgive
saying.
me for that.
Where the beat go? Oh, ain't
But
that
yeah,
something?
we should have some trailers and stuff coming out hopefully next week if all goes well. And yeah, I don't really know what else I can say to add to any of this, but just hope you guys enjoy. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too. This is supposed to be the biggest event in Fortnite history, and I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be probably some Avengers Endgame shit, so I don't think this is gonna end well. To be honest, I don't think this is gonna be one of those happy endings that we're used to within Fortnite. But still got about 5 minutes left, so I just hope you guys enjoyed. And I also might
comes up out of nowhere like an evil surprise, and it hovers over you to tell you millions of lies. You don't relate to that? Must not be as crazy as I am.
I was gonna say I might leave the chat just so
place, and what you feed it can affect you in a powerful way. It's pretty
my
cool,
ears
right?
aren't being
Yeah, but it's
blown
not
out.
always safe. Just hang with me. This will only take a moment, okay? Just think about it for a second. If you
Yeah,
look
I
at
hope
your
you guys
face,
are
every day
excited
when
as
you
I
get
am
up and
for
think you'll
this.
never be great, you'll never.
I'm not gonna give my opinions on everything right away and whatnot, but there's gonna be downtime after this. How long that downtime is, I don't know.
Great, you'll never be
I think it's
great.
usually
Not
like
because you're
5
not, but
hours
hey,
or
we'll
something,
always
but
find a way to cut you off.
once the event's over, I'll talk a little bit more on my opinions and whatnot.
Thank you for coming. This fight is gonna need everyone.
Yep, and if you can wake up Homer, that would be a really huge help.
Where's Homer at? Wake up, Homer. Hey, yo, homie. Homie. Gotta wake up, homie. Dude, Homer's gonna be late like I was, bro. That's ridiculous. Alright. I hope we're ready, gang. Is there a timer in here? I don't know. I also switched on my buttons, so I'm like confused where everything is. Anyway, we should have about like 4 minutes left, I think. And yeah, hope you enjoy. I'm excited. Hope you're excited too. And yeah, I'm just gonna take a moment and then should be good to go.
I've got a green light on our next beacon.
You locked onto King Kong? I better make sure Peely keeps his distance.
beacon online. All our friends are ready to rift back to the island.
A big lizard, robot, lots of people in tights.
The dark presence won't know.
There you go, we'll just do this.
How close are we to rifting?
One more adjustment. Cross-reality
So-
traveling for amateurs.
Are we just waiting?
That should do it. Rift device ready.
Spinning up the comms. and
Yeah, where are you?
We're live to all realities.
Is this on? Oh, wow, is that my voice? Okay, attention all realities. If you can hear this message, we need your help. The Dark Presence thinks he can conquer our island. Well, not without a fight. Prepare yourselves. We're about to go for a ride.
Perfect.
Now to fire this thing up.
So long, Springfield. It's been weird.
Here we
Did you finish the calibrations?
Of course.
And you accounted for dimensional variance?
Hold on. Just how about this? Okay, guess we're taking the scenic route.
Jones.
At least this trip's interesting.
I can't hit on no brakes. My life is out of control. I'm telling you, nobody's safe. I've been living my life limbo. I can't.
Back to Springfield? Really?
Well, hold please.
Whoa! Hatsune Miku!
You gotta be kidding me. Maybe give it another try.
Seriously, Jones?
Are we there yet?
Jones! Did we make it? This doesn't look like the island.
And that looks like just a whole lot of trouble. If he wants a fight, he's got one. Yes! Now we're talking. Time to take back our island. Let's go!
get on? Hang on! Arigato! On your left!
We need everyone on the front line!
Press the attack!
Heads up! Oh! That had to hurt.
We're barely holding on. We need to hit him hard, and we need to do it soon.
Okay. I got like a crazy dangerous idea.
As if things aren't dangerous enough.
Trust me. 3, 2, here goes crazy.
The cube? That's not crazy. That's insane!
Exactly! All right! All forces, open fire!
Hit him with everything you've got! It's working! Keep it up!
Take cover!
The cube's gonna blow!
Mecha team leader!
Who's piloting that? We did it!
The 0 point shard.
This feels more like home.
Throughout history, the 0 point has secretly connected civilizations. For over 1,000 years, the Imagined Order controlled the 0 point, trapping people in an endless loop. Seven heroes came together to battle the Imagined Order and free the 0 point. The conflict ended with the 0 point shattered and strewn across all realities. And the fate of the Seven is unknown.
Well. Was that as long as people thought it was gonna be? I don't know. I was right though, down to normal. So, yeah, nothing till tonight, usually. That was crazy. That was also a better ending than I thought it would be, to be honest. I really thought we were gonna lose that for sure. Although, I'm confused about that ending, to be honest. I assume we got teleported here through the 0 point, I assume is what happened. And then this dude showed up. No, I wouldn't have teleported here yet. Because I wouldn't have been us on the bus. Since we're coming in a different way, so I don't think we're actually there yet. But hey, that was sick. Music was good. Not as long as people thought it was gonna be. You know, people expected it to be around like 20-30 minutes long. Now, I guess with like the initial start of it, when they were just kind of talking to each other to get everyone together, I mean, I guess that maybe would count towards that time, I suppose. But either way, that's great. Sorry, everything's starting to break now. At least I waited until it was over for everything to start breaking. But yeah, that was the 0 hour event. Sorry, I'm just giving my computer time to adjust here. I'm so glad it waited until this part to start breaking, dude. Thank God. Thank God it waited. Okay, just give me a moment for this to sort of do its thing here. I apologize, I should have mentioned that at the start. That thing's just gonna break. Hopefully it can recover. Sorry everyone that may be new here, you're probably not used to my streams breaking randomly. This happens. Happens after about 40 minutes. So I try not to talk when it breaks a lot. I guess I can throw my ads back on now too, to be honest. So the new chapter starts at, what, like 10 o'clock? I hope I'll be around for that. I'll do my best to be around. You know, if I have to like take a nap before then, I'll do that for sure. Sorry, I'm just giving the stream time to break. It might break again. So real quick, I forgot skipping around or the audio of the computer's being bad. So don't worry, it's not you. It's literally me, bro. And if this would like to start breaking, I can talk for a little bit. Also forgive me, I've been having like stomach issues all day. Since waking up. Still went to the store though, but just to get some bread, eggs, and milk, you know. The usual. Still breaking. Still breaking. Can you stop breaking so I can like talk for like 5 minutes, dude? Forgive me, everyone, for my shit breaking like this. Excuse me. Apologize for that too. Now it's just kind of stuck, so I'm just waiting a little bit longer again. Come on, you can do it. Recover, bro. You can do it. You can do it. Just let me talk for like 5 minutes. Please. Still breaking. It's going back up again. And it's back down. Come on, you just need to hold it steady. Just for a little bit. A little bit. It's back up again. Okay, now might be my chance before it dies again. So like I said, sorry, my streams just kind of break after like 40 minutes. It just does that. For people that are new, you're probably not used to that, so forgive me. I'm using a really shitty computer. Like, really bad. I wish I'd never bought this computer back in 2023, to be honest. That's how bad it is. But, you know, I do the best I can with what I have available. I know we're not used to the $3,000 fucking computer I used to have and whatnot. You know, I apologize for that, for sure. But, like I said, I do the best with what I got. And, still breaking, but I need to get my outro out. So, yeah, that was the 0 point event. 0 hour? 0 hour event. Usually they do have 2 events for people that may have missed it, usually. Sometimes they'll do it at, like, nighttime. Usually around when downtime ends, there's, like, you can see the event again. I don't know if that'll be the case for this one, because this one was the biggest one just ever that they've ever done. Although I don't know if it's bigger than the Chapter 1 finale when the island like flipped. I don't know if it's bigger than that still. I don't think you can top that, flipping the entire island. It's kind of hard to top that one, but in terms of what it was good. I liked it. A little shorter than what people were talking about. But again, I feel like people were talking about the dialogue that was happening before it actually started, between Jones and Hope. So I feel like that was sort of added to their math a little bit. So probably the entire event with that dialogue would have been about 40 minutes, but the event itself was like, what, 10 minutes, typically? It was about as long as most events were. Maybe a little bit longer, I'm not too sure. I will give... So, I don't know when I'm going to make this video. It might be at the start of Chapter 7, it might be like a week or 2 down the line, but I sort of want to, like, give my opinions on, like, the state of Fortnite right now, from a quote-unquote casual player's perspective, because I've been listening to everyone's opinions, throughout every chapter, every season. Like, I'm not playing every single season that happens, but I do pay attention to what everyone is talking about. And I just found that with Chapter 6, everyone was complaining a lot. Being like, Fortnite doesn't feel the same, or, loot pools are bad, and the story doesn't make any sense, or, like, they don't really care about the story anymore, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I basically want to make a video giving my opinion on everything, because I think the biggest problem people are having is they don't take breaks from the game. Everyone that is complaining is playing like every single season, every chapter. They're like getting max level every time, But me personally, if I just don't like a chapter or a season or what's happening, or even like if I don't like the battle pass or even the crew, like sometimes I don't want the crew skin just because it doesn't seem worth it in my opinion. I just don't play it, A lot of people, for some reason, feel like they have to play it, like they're forced to play something for some reason. I don't know why people feel like that, to be honest, but I just find a lot of these people that are complaining about the current state of Fortnite are people that have never taken a break. And if they did take a break, it was for like a month or two, or like a week or two, you know? So I feel like if people were in my shoes more, and if you just see a season you don't like, a chapter you don't like, there's been lots of seasons I just did not play just because I looked at it and I was like, this doesn't seem interesting enough for me to hop in to check it out, you know? Um, so, I feel like that would be a very different sided opinion than what a lot of people are talking about with all these big people and whatnot. And because I'm an Epic partner now, I feel like I should give my opinion on everything and have it sort of like validated a little bit. But, I feel like people should not feel like they don't want to, you know? Playing games is meant to like be fun and a good pastime, and get your mind off of stuff and whatnot, or even make money if you do like competitive or if you're a content creator like I am, you know, there's actual job potential there for people. But again, with all the videos I was watching about these bigger people, and I watched a few small creators too, within like the 2000 sub range talking about like their experiences with like the past like couple of years. And I don't know, again, I want to make a whole video about this separately, but I just think people need to understand that it's okay to take a break, okay? Like, if you're just not enjoying it, go do something else, man. It's okay, you know? I've been playing Fortnite since, like, literally Season 1, Chapter 1, you know? I was there at the very beginning, and to be honest, I wasn't a big fan, you know? And then towards, like, the release of, like, Paradise Palms and stuff like that. I was really getting into the content of it. I was making like weekly videos and showing everyone how to do quests and stuff like that, and talking about updates and all that stuff, and all the new weapons coming out and testing them out, and giving my opinions on everything. Um, but towards the end of Chapter 1, I just got extremely burnt out because I just wasn't enjoying it. There was a lot of problems back in the day, and I'm not a good builder by any means. So people would just like shoot me through walls and stuff because like their ping's higher, and I'd be like lagging around a little bit. It would happen in Rainbow Six Siege too. People, like, I'd put up a barricade and someone would just shoot me through it because it wasn't even there on their screen, basically. So, you know, back in the day, there's a lot of problems. I was enjoying it at first, playing with my friends and whatnot all the time after school and stuff. And then the fun just kind of wore off, and it just felt like more like a grind than anything. Like I'm just kind of forcing myself to go through this to make content. And then I just kind of stopped. I stopped for a little bit. I'm sure it would show in my locker like what seasons and chapters I came back in, because every time I do come back, I usually do get the battle pass because that like, oh, that looks cool, this chapter looks cool and whatnot, or this season looks cool, and what have you. I'm sorry, this stupid audio thing pops up. Give me a second. This is gonna break my computer again, but I don't know why this keeps popping up every time I'm live. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know if my computer's hacked or something. I don't know. If it is hacked, just hop onto the live stream, bro. You don't have to hack my shit to listen to what I'm talking about. But yeah, this audio center thing just keeps popping up, and maybe I should just let it load to see what it is, but I never do, because it breaks everything when this opens up. Okay, I closed it. Okay. So, like I was saying, again, I want to make a separate video about this conversation, just to kind of sit down and talk for 30 minutes to an hour, just about, my experiences from a content creator that made Fortnite videos and someone that does like the game. I feel like people should know that it's okay to take a break. Okay? I know a lot of you hardcore people out there don't like to hear those words when it comes to video games or whatever, but it's okay to take breaks, man. Trust me. You're not like a league player going to competitive tournaments every year, okay? Don't force yourself to do something you don't want to. Unless, of course, you have adult responsibilities like going to the store and paying rent and whatnot, then of course force yourself to do those things. That is part of being an adult. But if you're just not enjoying it, just don't do it. You know, like, it's not that hard to understand, to be honest. Like, am I slightly disappointed that I missed out a lot of battle passes, or I just sometimes didn't even finish battle passes? I've maybe finished about 3 or 4 battle passes out of all the battle passes that I have owned throughout my entire career of Fortnite. You know, like, is that kind of a waste of money? Yeah, for sure. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, that's like what, like $12 down the drain for no reason, just because like I didn't complete it or whatever. But you know, I just, if I'm not interested in it and I'm not enjoying it, I'm just not going to force myself to do it because you're not going to enjoy it anymore. It's going to feel like a chore more than anything. And I just feel like that's why a lot of people are complaining. Because the chapters and seasons I do come back on that I'm like, wow, this is cool. You know, I have a great time. I don't really have much to complain about because I took a break. You know, I couldn't tell you that this is the third time they've reskinned this assault rifle for the past like 3 seasons, you know? I wouldn't be able to tell you those things because I haven't been there the entire time. And then usually the seasons I do enjoy, once those end, I leave again until I see something, you know, amazing that I want to come back and, you know, experience. Like, I think throughout this entire chapter, I came around for Blitz at the start of Blitz because that was awesome. I had a good time with that. And then I showed up for the super season because that was great. And I think that was literally it for this entire chapter. Or maybe I'd showed up before, but because I was here for like the Peter Griffin, like the bank heist and stuff like that. Like I was there for that, but I think that was last chapter. I could be wrong on that, but you know, with all these people being like the game's dying or the loot pools are the same all the time or whatever people are complaining about, these are people that have not taken breaks. Okay, so just to keep that in mind. Like, no wonder why they're complaining. They do this shit every day. Take a break, bro. Take a break. Take a break for like a month to like 6 months, or even a whole year. You know, I probably had a year I just didn't check out the game. You know, that's totally okay, man. It's totally okay. You are not being forced to play a game you don't like. Okay? Again, you're not some sort of millionaire competitive player on a competitive team with yearly tournaments and you have to practice to get better like an athlete. Okay? You're not that guy. And if you are that guy, then, you know, maybe your complaints are validated a little bit more than other people's opinions. But, you know, I just, from just the normal player's perspective, if you're not trying to get money within Fortnite and you're not a content creator, even if you are a content creator, I'm a content creator. I've been making content on this shit for like 8 years. But if you're not enjoying it, just don't play it, bro, okay? Again, I'm going to make a whole video about it, but I feel like I just need to repeat that over and over and over again. Because for some reason, people just don't understand that it's okay to take a break. Okay? You're not married to Fortnite, alright? You don't need to do paperwork to take a break. It's fine. Just take a break. Okay? Take like a couple months, you know? Just like keep up with everything about like, you know, the chapters and seasons and whatnot, but if you're just genuinely not enjoying it, just don't fucking do it, dude. I mean, like I can't make it any simpler for people. I really can't. And that's coming from a hashtag epic partner, by the way. You know? But my opinions are just true. You know? The entire Simpsons season, so the entire month of, because I got sick at the start of November, I was spending most of that time, most days, roughly like 7+ hours every time, creating my Call of Duty Zombies inspired Fortnite map. You know? Like, the System season was good, don't get me wrong. It broke a lot of records and people were coming in from all over the place to check it out, but, I've spent a lot of my time just creating my map. And I think that's okay too, you know? Like, I did, get my levels up, got the battle pass finished and everything. It realistically took me like 4 hours. It did not take very long to get to like level 70 and whatnot. It really didn't take me that long, but I just, you know, I'm on I'm on a different like perspective of Fortnite now that I'm a creator and I want to create maps for people and obviously try to earn some revenue if possible. Just because I'm 25 now, I'm not 13 anymore. You know, when I started making content 12 years ago, when I was 13, I didn't care about the money. You know, I just wanted to grow a community. I wanted to do what I loved, and I wanted to spread a message to the world. And that was my biggest downfall the entire time throughout the years was just not caring about wanting the actual like I wanted to be successful, but I didn't want the monetary success to it. Which, if you're going to be successful, monetary success comes with being successful. So I'll talk about that later on too, because we're gonna need like a yearly review type of thing. But I just I don't know. I just I spent a lot of the years when I first started just not like wanting to do what everyone was doing. And now that I'm an adult, I'm a man now, I realize just how stupid I was for that. You know? I could have been making like millions of dollars before I was like even 18. But actually, that might be illegal to do that, so I probably had to be 16 just in Canada. But, the point being is I could have had that success I've wanted for so long if I didn't like confuse myself, you know? Because I just wanted to grow a community and, be a part of something bigger and help people and whatnot. But then I sort of gave up on the idea of doing what everyone else is doing because it's working. And I was like, screw that, I'm gonna do my own thing. Biggest mistake of my life, dude. Straight up. So, you know, I I won't apologize for the fact that I am an adult man now and I need money to survive, you know. I'm not gonna apologize for that. You know, I need money. We all need money. You know? Am I am I creating Fortnite maps just because I want money? No, not at all. I mean, that's a bonus for sure. They make so much money, it's unbelievable. But I'm doing it because it's something I just always wanted to do as a kid. I wanted to have like my own sort of like video game type of thing. And this is like the closest thing I can get to at the moment. Um, and then when I get a better computer, I can actually like start coding things in and make better Fortnite maps, bigger Fortnite maps, and custom animations, cutscenes, voice acting. I could do all of that stuff in the future. But that's just sort of why I'm. Or this whole year, for me at least, you know, I was having a rough like 8 years. Um, more like 14, 15 years to be honest, but eight years was like the worst of it. You know, I was having sleep problems for 8 years. I couldn't sleep at night because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. You know, and I would only be able to sleep when the sun starts coming up, which really messes you up. By the way, that ruins your life completely. It was 8 years of that. And I'd wake up in like the late afternoon, sometimes when the sun's even like starting to set, and that just really messed up my entire life, you know. And then I got my like concussion because my bike tire fell off when I was pulling wheelies and stuff. So I probably suffered, you know, a little bit of brain damage because of that. And the doctors didn't tell me how to recover, or maybe they did. I don't even. The last thing I remember was getting into the ambulance. I don't remember being at the hospital. I don't remember getting home. I don't remember any of that. Um, but the fact that doctors didn't like call me like after a couple days to be like, "Hey, how's your recovery going?" Because I don't remember anything they told me. I don't know what I was supposed to do. And, you know, when I was like 5 years ago is when I started researching, like concussions and whatnot. And I realized everything I was doing was bad. Because I was concussed pretty badly. Because I don't have any memory of it, you know? So during my recovery phase, I was supposed to just lay in bed and not do anything for like weeks, maybe even months. I was supposed to take life very, very, very slowly. I wasn't even supposed to like look at my phone for long. I wasn't supposed to like work out or you know, I wasn't really supposed to do much of anything. And of course, my father would force me to get out of bed literally the day afterwards, being like, you can't stay in bed all day and whatever. And, you know, that definitely made, you know, those years a lot worse for sure. Um, that's probably what caused a lot of my health issues that was happening since COVID as well, just because I didn't recover properly. And I probably still haven't, you know. That's probably why um, people in comment sections in the past recently, when I bring up one of these stories, people would say that, you know, I could have probably have suffered from a seizure during that story back in the day. What's happening? Oh, don't forget your smokes and whatnot. Oh, you do? Oh, when the fuck did that happen? Yeah, not as long as people thought it was gonna be though.
It's better than the previous like 2 or 3 that I've seen so far.
Just since like the start of chapter 2, basically. The ending's a little confusing, but I think that'll be explained when the new chapter starts. Well, no, like that makes sense, but I don't think we actually got there yet. I think that was just like, you know, because we're supposed to come in on the water and stuff like that. So I don't think we're actually there yet, and that wasn't us on the battle bus or anything like that.
Battle bus is getting removed?
Not forever.
No.
Just for, yeah.
Surfboard.
That's what I was talking about.
Battle bus has to get removed.
I know.
Anyway.
That also happened really quickly. There was no like build up to that. But I guess the teasers kind of showed that off a little bit.
Oh yeah, the only thing I know, and the Huntrux, wasn't expecting them to start playing fucking K-pop Doom Hunters.
No, I thought they would be busy fighting, but they were busy singing, keeping everyone motivated.
No, they were fighting, but their songs.
Were they fighting? I wasn't in their chopper, so I couldn't tell.
I don't think anyone was. Anyway, I got 4 minutes.
You're good.
Godspeed.
Yep. Are you gonna be on tonight?
Playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
Playing Fortnite, I'll let you know.
I probably will be, but I don't know for how long, because it's gonna be around like 10 p.m., so I'm probably gonna be going to bed soon after that.
I'll send you an
But
invite for the
oh,
Discord.
maybe. I don't know. Because I'm probably gonna be streaming that. Yep, 10th time. Okay, don't forget your Coke in the fridge.
Oh, that's on my bag. I grabbed it a while ago.
Oh,
Flavor.
all good.
Well, flavor. Something. Oh,
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, stay safe. Enjoy Wicked if you do, I guess. I don't know. I said enjoy Wicked if you do.
his dad was like the job driver last night because I don't like it. And apparently also was like, one of the things I can appreciate Trevor for is he doesn't like musicals.
At least you're honest about it, instead of forcing yourself to like it. Alright. Stay safe. Okay, sorry about that. Where were we? 8 years, problems. Anyway, so, you know, we just had, like, a lot of issues throughout the years. You know, this has just been part of my life, but something happened at the start of this year. I don't know what. I don't know if it was the stuff I was just trying out, Like, I was doing some like monk meditations type of shit, um, where you just kind of sit alone, close your eyes for like an hour and whatnot, especially if you have like pain and stuff. And that actually did kind of work a little bit, but you know, I'm not like religious or anything like that. I was just trying whatever I can because at this point, I'm desperate. Like at this point, the past couple of years, I've been saying to myself, I don't know if I'm gonna make it another like 3 months alive. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to like, Christmas or my birthday and shit like that. It's just kind of like the reality I started like accepting a little bit just because of how bad it was getting. You know, I was losing jobs constantly for the past like 4 or 5 years because I was getting sick every like month or two. And I don't mean just like the sickness I was dealing with in November, where I'm just like coughing and sneezing, clearing out my lungs and stuff. Like, I was getting so sick I can't even move out of bed. Or like, one time I spent 4 hours just like rolling over on my side, literally groaning in pain like a World War II soldier, and like just drooling and spitting just everywhere. And, that's certainly not normal at all. And I'm glad that my health is better now, for sure. But like I said, at the start of this year, something just happened. My 8 years of sleep issues just went away completely, just out of nowhere. They just disappeared. You know, I, I even remember it happening too. This is how crazy it was. Like, I think it was at like 7 p.m. or something, or even like 6 p.m. Near the start of the year. I couldn't tell you what day specifically, but I just randomly, all of a sudden, my body was getting tired. And like the biggest smile showed up on my face. I was like, oh my god, I'm actually feeling tired for once before like the sun comes up again on the next day. Like to me, I was happy about it. And then I went to bed. And I'm pretty sure I slept all the way until like 8 a.m. That I slept for like 12 hours. And then I woke up. And I woke up to like the sun being out. The sounds of birds again. I know it's kind of depressing, but when you have 8 years of sleep issues, it just really fucks up your life, dude. It really does. I lost a lot of things because of it. I got kicked out of school because of it. You know, and I don't want to say it's all because like the concussion and stuff. I was definitely having sleep issues before my concussion, but it wasn't as bad as it became afterwards. But yeah, just just randomly, all of a sudden, my sleep issues just fixed themselves. Um, Now that we're nearing the end of the year and I've been able to sleep at night again and wake up during the morning and actually enjoy the day and become a normal part of society again. Um, it is a bit of like a double-edged sword, because now sometimes I'll pass out at like 7 p.m. just because I'm fucking exhausted from just doing so much that I'm trying to do with all like the business and all these boot camps and content and making a map and trying to run different social medias, learning all this knowledge for countless hours every single day. Like I've said it before and I'll say it again. I spend maybe an hour, maximum like 2 to 3 hours of just pure entertainment like a day. It's usually when I'm like eating my first meal of the day, is when I'm watching something entertaining and just kind of just enjoying my time. All the hours after that, I'm spending my time doing something that I would consider to be worth doing. Making content, learning constantly. I spend a lot of my day just learning shit. A lot of people don't understand that. And, the brain does burn calories, believe it or not. Like, your brain is still an organ, is still doing stuff, you know. And I just get so fucking exhausted because I have taken in hours of information and I've just, I'm doing all these different types of things every single damn day until I get tired and then I go to bed, you know? Most people don't do that. Most people work for like 8 hours, and that's it for the day. That's kind of just the average there, you know. But I spend way more hours than that. If I can stay awake long enough, of course. Now it's been more around like 8 to 9 hours. Then I start getting really fucking exhausted, to the point I just have to sleep for like 2 hours, to really just process everything and sort of come up with more ideas and whatnot. But I just my body's not used to that anymore. You know, like I'm used to shift work and whatnot. I'm not used to spending most of, if not my entire day, working on something. And I don't think most people are. Okay? So, I literally wake up, I eat, and then I start working. And I don't stop working until I'm basically ready for bed, essentially. Which, that's probably not going to be good in the long run health wise. But, it's just what I do. I don't like to waste my time necessarily, just because I'm quite terrified of dying and whatnot. I know there's nothing I could really do about it, but, well, I mean, I could certainly make better choices to live longer, for sure, but, that is something that I personally struggle with a lot, is just the fact that we're all gonna die at some point. I know this is getting really morbid out of nowhere. I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna spruce it back up in a minute, but that's just something I struggle with. And because a lot of my childhood years, middle school years, high school years were just, depression, anxiety, anger. Well, I wouldn't say anger, more like grudges and just like resentment and whatnot. Like I feel like I spent a majority of my life so far just kind of not really enjoying life as much as other people are. And, people have it worse than I do. People have it better than I do. I understand that. But, we all handle things differently. And I just, you know, throughout the most of my life, which has been the worst parts of my life, I just, like, I don't know. Like, like, it felt like I was just forcing myself to wake up every day just to be a part of society, you know? Like, I just wanted to make people happy, when in reality, I just didn't care anymore. That's just how bad my life was getting. I just did not care. And after I always say after I beat depression, which you just can't do, but after I overcame my depression and I learned how to control it, um, by the way, I did that all on my own. If you're like severely depressed and whatnot, seek help, okay? Don't be like me. Don't just deal with it for 8 years and hope it magically gets better, okay? Don't do that. Please don't do that. I've made so many bad choices in my life just because I didn't seek help, dude. Like, I have probably cut 30 years, maybe even more, off my future just because I didn't want to get help, you know? Because I just, like, I don't know, something about the way I was raised or what happened as a child, I never like to ask for help. And if I do have to ask for help, I'm, like, embarrassed about it. I'm like, I just feel bad every time I have to ask for help. That's why I don't, you know? I suffer through my pain in fucking silence. Every problem I have, I just push through it. I think that's true for most men, to be honest, but, again, if you're struggling severely, don't do what I did, please, okay? Just straight up, don't do what I did. I know I'm still alive, but at what cost? Like, realistically, what cost? I have lost everything probably 3 times total. All my belongings, including, like, my bed and everything, too. I have nothing from childhood. Not a single thing from childhood do I own anymore. It has been thrown out, it's been lost to time, it's been given to other people just, as, like, payment for something, And I feel like a lot of people just don't, they're just, like, not used to that. At least, if you're, like, 30, 40, then yeah, anything you had from childhood, you probably just don't have anymore unless you want to give it to the next generation or whatever. But, I was thrown into, like, the adult world when I was, like, 12, 13, you know? That's when I had to defend for myself. That's when I had to, like, start buying my own stuff, which, again, isn't normal. I'm pretty sure I can't even get a damn job when you're that young, bro. Aside from McDonald's, I guess, they hire, like, children for some reason, which is probably a problem, but I won't get into that. But, I just, again, most of my life has just been spent struggling and whatnot, just not really caring about life. But after I overcame my depression and the world physically changed, I've said this before too, and it's so depressing every time I talk about it, but the world around me, like the actual outside, got brighter. Like, do you know how sad that is? Like it actually got brighter. Like, I looked at the trees, they were brighter. The grass was brighter. The sky was brighter. I noticed all these little things, like the birds flying by and whatnot, or like the shoes someone's wearing. You know, that was something I just wasn't used to. And, you know, overcoming depression is a big step, especially when, you have severe depression for like 8 years and not getting professional help whatsoever. I haven't even like been to therapy before or anything like that, but the one thing that I kind of regret about wanting to fix my life and whatnot is the fact that now I'm scared to die because now I realize like what I'm living for and how beautiful life can be sometimes. Like I just now I'm just scared for that to all be gone now. Now that I beat my depression and I just like I want to be here. I want to be alive now. I want to enjoy my life. I want to do as much as I can before I die. And I know that I'm just kind of burdened more than others just because of the way I was born and the stuff my mother was doing when I was in the womb and stuff like that. Like my future doesn't, like health-wise, like doesn't seem that bright. I mean, I'm still alive now, which is a good sign, but with the sleep issues and getting sick and smoking and stuff like that, and I was even an alcoholic for like 2 years straight. I don't drink anymore, by the way, and I'm like heavily against drinking now, to be honest. I'll make a separate video about that too one day because I feel like that's a good story to tell too. But I just a lot of those years that I spent struggling, hating myself, hating life. I just I was taking years off my life without really realizing it. Like I made a lot of bad choices in my life just because I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And now that I want to be alive, as of when did I overcome my depression? That was, I think it was like 2020, somewhere around there, 2021 maybe. So less than like 5 to 6 years ago is when I overcame my depression finally. And I don't know, I look at life differently now. Again, I want to be alive. I want to do great things. And with that fear of dying comes the fact that I don't like to waste time anymore. That's the whole reason why I brought this up. I don't like to waste time. And that's probably going to be a double-edged sword as well, because believe it or not, humans are meant to relax. You're not supposed to relax just when you're sleeping, okay? Humans are supposed to have like an hour, sometimes even 2 hours, to just literally do nothing. Like, literally just do nothing. Just lay there. Or just sit down and just, like, stare at a wall. Maybe don't stare at a wall. You might drive yourself crazy if you do that, but, humans are not meant to be just constantly doing shit 24/7. That's not what we were built for. That's not what we're meant to do. And I don't know. Like, when I say I don't like to waste time, I mean, like, I don't like to just do nothing. Like, I don't like to sit down and to play a game just to play a game. Like, I don't like to do that. I don't like to sit down and just watch, like, a movie or two anymore. Like, I don't like to do that, I don't like to just lay down in bed on my phone for hours like most people are doing nowadays. I don't like to do that, If I'm awake and I'm functioning, I am putting that time towards something. May it be content, may it be trying to start a business, may it be knowledge, whatever it may be. I'm spending the vast majority of my entire day working on something. Okay? And a lot of people may disagree with me. on that, you know? People will be like, why? Or like, do you think it's worth it? Or whatever, you know, whatever the fuck people want to think. But that's just what I do, okay? And again, going back to what I was trying to say originally, that with this year changing everything, um, when my sleep issues fixed themselves, my mental state got a lot better around like the same time, probably like a week after sleeping. Um, I just woke up one day and was like, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to learn. This is like how I'm going to do it. And I don't know where the fuck that came from, to be quite honest with you. That would have been probably like a month before I made my other channel to talk about like the business that I was trying to start and whatnot. Still in the processes of that, by the way. We're like, what, 6, 7 months in now? Minus September when I pulled a nerve or whatever, but, you know, or maybe that was August, I don't remember anymore. But, you know, something just, you know, my circadian rhythm fixed itself randomly, and then my mental state was better randomly. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. I just feel more, like, tuned in to life right now. I don't know how else to explain it. I just, like, I know what I want to focus on, which is everything I've talked about. You know, I have whiteboards with all these things written down. I have multiple books, you know. When I'm learning all this stuff, I'm writing it all down. I have hundreds of pages that I have written by hand, just of knowledge. Like, most of it's like business knowledge and, you know, content creation and whatnot, but, you know, I've just been writing everything down. All of it. Sometimes even typing Google documents, you know, like I have hundreds of pages of just knowledge. And that is something that I myself am not used to. You know, after high school I did like to learn, but I never got addicted to learning. Like learning now feels like water to me. Like if I'm not spending the day learning something, I don't want to be wasting my time doing whatever else I'm doing, you know? Like, sure, I can take like an hour or 2 or 3 hours to go do something else. Don't get me wrong, you know, I still gotta cook and eat and, you know, laundry and all dishes and garbage and, you know, adult responsibilities and whatnot. And, you know, try to socialize a little bit so people don't think I'm dead. Because, you know, that's also important too. But again, I spend most of my day just literally working on stuff, man. And I don't think that's normal for people. You know? Like 8 hours, yeah. You know, that's a work shift. But like 15 hours? Almost every day? Yeah, that's a different story, man. It's a different story. And, like, I would be lying if I said I wasn't addicted to it. Like, I love learning all this stuff. I really do. As stressful as it is to learn it, and to, like, wanting to, you know, be successful with all this knowledge, you know. Like, that is very stressful. It's a bit of a burden on me a little bit, you know. I haven't returned to the last job I have yet because I wanted to spend a lot of my time, while I have time, to be creating an entire fucking business, dude. An entire business. Did I think it was going to take 7 months and I still wouldn't have it finished yet? No. Did I think I would be putting in 8+ hours every single day for months on end with no break? No. I never thought that at all. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do, and to at least try it. You know? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take kind of shit, you know? Like, what happens if I didn't do this, but would have been successful in the future? You know? I probably would hate myself because I didn't do it. Just like the TikTok. Back before COVID started, TikTok hit me up themselves and was like, hey, we want to partner with you and we will pay you every day to make TikToks. I would have been a multi-dollar millionaire if I said yes to that. And I am so goddamn dumb for saying no to such a big opportunity. I've never had an opportunity like that in my life. You know? I've never really made more than like $20,000 a month, which is fucking insane, by the way. You know? People in Canada need to be making, like, at minimum $70,000 a year. At minimum. Just to live comfortably. But with a single person, by the way. This isn't like you have kids and stuff. This is just one person. You know? And I haven't made more than, like, $20,000-$30,000 a year. Ever. You know? Call that poverty if you want to and whatnot. You know, I've been homeless and whatever, but... You know. So... With this year, the start of this year just kind of changing my life randomly. Again, I still don't know what caused it. I don't know if it's me just hanging in there, you know, just hoping things get better, but not knowing if they will. And my body was secretly healing for like the entire 8 years and whatnot, and I just hung out long enough, I hung in there long enough for my body to finally, like, you know, fix itself and whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what I did right to cause this to happen at the start of this year. Like, just straight up, I don't know what I did right. You know, I haven't worked out in like 2 or 3 years now. And before that, I was working out every day. Every day for like 2 years. You know? Sure, I wasn't doing like push-ups every single day. You know, I'd switch it up here and there, but I was working out every single day for 2 years. I was able to lift up my bike with one finger, which isn't that impressive, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not like The Rock or anything, but to me, it was impressive. You know? I haven't worked out that long before. So, like, you know, physically, I don't know what I did differently to feel better, other than the fact I just hung in there long enough, you know? I was holding on to that hope that my life will get better. Things will get better, you know? It will get better. I was just hanging on to that belief when all signs point to, no, it's not. You know? Every single sign was pointing to, you're gonna die young. You're not gonna be anything. You're gonna struggle your entire life. You know? And I just kept telling myself, it's gonna get better. You know? It's gonna be okay. You know, I'll be able to raise a family one day. You know, I'll be successful. I'll be able to support people. I'll be able to help people. I'll be able to, you know, help you guys that have stuck around my entire life for 12 years. Most of you don't watch my videos anymore, you know, but, you know, I feel like that fire in me that I don't even know why it's there, because I hated life for most of my life. You know, I didn't want to make it this far. I really didn't. I didn't think I would. I didn't even think I was going to make it to 20. Okay? I really didn't. I didn't think I was going to live this long. But I have. And I'm grateful for it. As much as life sucks at the moment for a lot of people across the world, myself included, you know. Things could be so much worse, because they have been worse before. But I could also be like a millionaire right now, you know. There's always, you know, things can always just get better from where they are, usually. But, you know, I just had this belief that things were going to get better when all signs pointed to it's not. And other than that, I don't know what else I did right. Unless the only thing that was like holding me back for most of it was my sleep issues. Because once that fixed, like I said, my mental state got better. It's almost like my third eye opened up type of shit. Like, I don't even know how to explain it more than I have. I can think better. I can think clearer. I can think faster. You know? I'm not having these, like, depressive thoughts creeping in all the time. Don't get me wrong, you know. If it's, you know, if I can't sleep at night for a particular reason, or maybe I had, like, you know, an alcoholic drink or two, you know, those demons do come back again. You know, because again, you can't just get rid of them. That's not how depression works. But I've learned to control it and push them back, you know. So, you know, don't get me wrong, those thoughts do, you know, still show up from time to time. Usually like probably a couple times a month, realistically, even when everything's fine. Like, I could be having the best day of my life, and then just out of nowhere, I'm like, wow, everything sucks. And why am I still alive, you know? Shit like that. Just randomly. Again, I could be having the time of my life, and then those thoughts just pop into my head out of nowhere, you know? And I feel like that's also why I try to stay so busy all the time with stuff, is because I'm just trying to block that out push it as far back away as possible, which is something I learned from Roman Atwood, if you remember that YouTuber. That's something he said when I was a kid. It was, like if life's hard or you have thoughts that you don't want, like I don't mean like voices in your head type of thoughts. I mean like depression thoughts. Like why me or, you know, why is my life, not as it should be and whatnot, you know. And his advice was to just stay busy. Because if you stay busy, you won't have time to think like that. And by the time you do have time to think like that, you're probably going to be mentally exhausted anyway. So you have to go to bed, you know? That's where most of my desire to be doing stuff comes from originally. That's why I started making content when I was 12 years old, when no one told me otherwise, you know? I just did it because I wanted to, and I liked it, and it was something to just stay focused on. And that's really where my learning addiction sort of started, because I spent every day learning. Before school, after school, even in school. Like, my grades started dropping after, like, the first year of high school, because I'd spent all my time learning what I wanted to learn and not what they were teaching me. Because, like, I don't care about the size of the sun. I don't need to know that, you know? Did they teach me how to, like, buy a home or set up a bank account? No, they didn't. They didn't teach me any of the important stuff I need to know. Did they even teach you how to budget? No, they didn't. They just told you, here's jobs you can get, and here's how to get them, and that was about it. Aside from, like, art class, I guess, or music class, or whatever, but I didn't really do those, you know? I really enjoyed science, though. Science was my favorite. Because you're, like, experimenting with stuff and whatnot. That's a good time, to me. That's, like, the biggest class I enjoyed, but that's also why, like, now, like, my math skills aren't very good. I can't do quick math. Like, I quite literally have to count on my fingers most of the time, just because I just didn't care about math, you know? Once I learned how to count money and tell the time, what else do I realistically need to know when it comes to math, other than, simple addition and whatnot? Like 3 plus fucking 10 or whatever, you know? We have calculators for a reason, and now we have calculators on our phone. You don't have to learn math unless you're like a literal rocket scientist. You just use your phone, And it's just kind of the stuff I was just getting onto as a kid. It's also why my English isn't very good, I struggle with spelling a lot of words. Even like ambulance, I can struggle a bit with sometimes. Beautiful was the biggest one that I struggled with for a while. Probably because I'm somewhat dyslexic as well, so some letters do just get, swapped around sometimes, but, because as a kid, or, I guess you're a kid in high school, yeah. So anyway, when I was a kid, I didn't care about math. I also didn't care about English class. Because in my mind, I was like, I know how to speak English. Why do I need to learn more English? So that's why my vocabulary is very short. I use the same words pretty much every day. I say the same things constantly. I'm not good with big words, and, that's okay with me. I don't have to be the smartest man alive. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to be successful, So I spent a lot of that time just learning how to do other stuff, how to make content. Have you noticed over the past time I've been talking for the past, 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, that I realistically haven't said a lot, if at all? Because I taught myself how to do that as a kid. Only when I'm making content, though, which is weird. If I'm, in an interview or something, or I'm just, talking to someone casually, there's a lot of ums I give out. Or hmms or ums, But when I'm making content, I don't do that. There's a switch in my brain that just flips into content mode. And everything I've learned throughout the years just comes on, I'm more expressive when I'm making content. The way I talk is more fluid and is paced better, and there's a lot of ups and downs with the way I'm speaking and whatnot to get more emphasis. Just like that. I didn't even do that on purpose. So, I spent a lot of those years as a kid just learning things that I wanted to learn. And that addiction carried over into adulthood for sure. And while this conversation is getting way longer than I expected it to, I apologize for that. I went on a bit of a tangent, but, you know, the main point I'm trying to get at is, again, something happened this year. Quite literally a miracle happened this year. At the start of this year, I don't know when specifically. I wish I did so I can like pinpoint exactly why this happened. But this year has, despite all the bad things that have happened this year, the worst thing happening was losing my grandmother in April. You know, the woman that literally raised me after my mother died, and rather passed away. Died is a crude word to use, but you know, um, you know, like she literally raised me after that happened. You know, because my father couldn't or didn't want to. You know, after my mom died, dude, my dad literally left for like multiple weeks. Like, what? I understand you're in pain too, but like, can you like support your fucking child? Hello? You know? The hardest moment in my life, and you just abandoned me. Thank God, my grandmother was there to take care of me and whatnot, but she raised a lot of us, like my cousins and whatnot. My father and his brother when they were younger and stuff. She was like the mother of the entire family. She raised a lot of us as we got older, or as we were getting older, I should say. Um, but that's the worst thing that's happened this year, as well as the nerve pain I had in either September or August, when I guess a part of my hip pinched into a back nerve, and I'm gonna be honest, I would not wish that pain on like my worst enemy, to be quite honest with you. That was the worst pain of my entire life, just ever. And I've smashed my face into the pavement and almost broke my neck. And pinching a nerve hurt more than that. Smashing your face into the pavement, doing wheelies on your bike is like taking a punch from like prime Mike Tyson. Like my teeth, well, two teeth fell out basically, or like a full tooth and then half a tooth fell out. I have a fake front tooth for those of you that didn't know that for some reason, but that's like taking a punch from prime Mike Tyson to the face, point blank, just bam. And I got right back up. But when I pinched the nerve back in September or August, I wanted to cut my entire leg off, bro. It was that bad. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't move, I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, and I could not lay down. Everything I did made it worse. And I struggled through that pain for like 3 whole days. Don't do that if that ever happens to you, by the way. Don't ever do that. Because I learned very quickly that, I think it was the day before I went to the hospital, or it was the night before I went to the hospital. I was tossing and turning in bed, again, like a World War II soldier, like my legs were just crushed by a tank, basically. Literally just like crying in silence and just like being like, oh, this is the worst, this hurts so bad. Just at night in my room alone. Just like fucking suffering so bad to the point like I tried to force myself to fall asleep and I couldn't even do that. And as the sun started coming up, I was like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain, I'm so tired, I feel like I'm gonna be physically like gonna puke everywhere because of just how much pain I'm in right now. I can't eat, I can't move much, I can't even like change positions because it just hurts no matter what I do. And that's when I was like, fuck it, I'm going to wait this out until the morning. And then when I'm going to call a very specific number, which I actually called the hospital and they gave me another number to call. So then I called this it wasn't 911, which would have been the emergency. It was some other health number that you call in Canada. So they could I don't know, maybe it was just the dispatch itself rather than dialing 911. So it's not on the emergency line, but I basically just called this number and, someone picked up and they were like, what's going on? What are you dealing with? And I was like, I'm in so much pain. I haven't been able to sleep for 3 days. I waited until the morning for the sun to come up, and I think before I pulled my nerve, I also choked on an onion. Or, well, I didn't choke on it. Um, I went to go bite like a part of an onion I cut off. Kind of like I don't know what kind of shape that would have been. You know what an onion looks like probably when you like cut it up. And I bit it, and I guess it slid on my teeth and went right down my throat. And immediately in my mind, I was like, I have two choices. I either force this thing down, or I do my best to puke it up. Because if I don't do one of those two things, I'm probably gonna die. Just in my kitchen as I'm trying to like cook dinner, you know? Like what the fuck? And I went with the first option, and I forced it down. Then I chugged some water, and then I felt it literally. I felt it stuck in my esophagus, and then stuck in my chest. I literally felt it go all the way down into my intestines and into my stomach and whatnot. Like it sucked. It sucked a lot. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the pinched nerve I have, because maybe my stomach moved because of that or something. I don't know, but that was also a really bad pain, because it was literally stuck in my chest, just stuck there. I tried eating other stuff, it would just go right past it. I would try drinking stuff, it would just go right past it for some reason. It was just stuck there, stuck in my. I think it was the esophagus for like a couple days. I don't know. But then I pulled my nerve and whatnot. So I told the person on the phone that too, and whatnot. And then I explained, like, I think this is whatever the nerve pain was called. I don't remember the name of it anymore. But after I answered all these questions she was asking me, she was like, "Yeah, you should get an ambulance right now and get sent to the hospital like immediately." And I was like, "Oh, it's that bad, huh? Like I know I'm in that much pain, but I didn't know it was that serious. Like I should have been in the hospital days ago. Like I didn't know it was that much of a concern. I mean, the fact that I'm in so much pain that I can't sleep for multiple days should have been like the biggest concern factor probably, but I was raised on the walk it off mentality, broke your foot, walk it off, cut yourself, walk it off, put some ice on it or whatever, put a band-aid on it, whatever it may be. And this was the one time I was not supposed to do that. I only made it worse by doing all those things and trying to walk it off and trying to like stretch and whatnot. Like I only made my condition worse. At least that's what the person told me. And at the hospital they told me that too. They were like, "Why'd you wait so long?" And I just straight up told them, like, I just was not raised to see a doctor and go to the hospital. I was raised to just deal with the pain, suffer through it kind of stuff, And then, an ambulance came and I was rushed to the hospital. I still have to pay for that, by the way. I don't know why they charged me, because I straight up told them I didn't want to do this because I don't have the money to pay for one. So they still fucking sent me a bill anyways. So still better than America, don't get me wrong. You guys probably have to pay like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars just to get a checkup on something, just to be like, yep, you're in pain, and then set another meeting or whatever. But I can't complain too much with Canadian healthcare and having to pay just an ambulance bill for everything, or plus my prescriptions. But I didn't actually need to take any of those. But again, that was the worst pain of my entire life up to this point. That was the worst pain ever. And if I didn't call the hospital and I just, tried to just walk it off and get through it or whatever, there was a percentage, every day that passes, every minute that passes would have brought this percentage up more, but there was a percentage that I could have been paralyzed on, from the waist down, at least on that one side. But if, it did move from side to side a little bit, and I didn't know that either, the people in the ambulance had to tell me that. And I was like, oh my God, am I going to be okay? And they were like, yeah, with the way it is right now, your percentage is very tiny. It was like 0.01% chance that I'd be paralyzed. But if I waited another day, that would have went up to like 5%, so on and so forth. It just would have went up and up and up the longer I waited. All the things I was told to do, like stretch or go for a walk and whatnot. Like all of those things I was being told to do only made it worse. They really did. Everyone, all the doctors at the hospital were like, dude, you need to just take like a 10-minute walk every day and then just relax. You know, don't stress out your body. Don't do things you don't have to do. You know, I wasn't allowed to do like heavy lifting and stuff like that, anything over like 20 pounds. You know, I wasn't allowed to like twist my body in certain directions. I wasn't allowed to like bend over, touch my toes kind of thing, you know. There's a lot of stuff I wasn't allowed to do. And, you know, I just besides that and my grandmother passing away in April, this year has been very good. From a mental standpoint and from a physical standpoint, this is one of the best years of my entire life. I know that sounds fucking depressing, because it is, but it's the truth. You know, I haven't had a year like this in my life where I just have felt mostly good. You know, like I'm enjoying my days. I'm enjoying what I'm doing and learning and trying to start a business and stuff like that. You know, like I'm enjoying all of that. I'm enjoying being able to sleep at night. Even if I have to pass out at like 5 p.m. sometimes and sleep for like 3 hours, you know? Like, as much as that sucks, I am still grateful that I'm able to sleep again. And I'm able to wake up when the sun's up again. I still can't wake up before like 7 to 8 a.m. I'm really trying for like 8:30, 9 a.m. because that's just, you know, society standards and whatnot. But, you know, it's easier said than done when you have sleep issues for 8 fucking entire years, you know? My body, even though it's been, you know, 9, 10 months or however long it's been, my body is still not quite, like, caught up to all of that yet, you know? Like, yeah, I'm able to wake up early. I'm able to wake up in the morning, but I can't wake up at, like, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you know? It doesn't matter how many alarms I set. It feels like I got hit by a truck every time I try to. And if I stand up, I just pass right back out again. Maybe that might be like diabetes related. I don't know. I haven't gotten tested for diabetes, but I really should. I really fucking should. But, you know, like as much as that does suck that I can't wake up earlier than I am, I'm still grateful that I'm able to, you know, wake up in the morning now. Again, after not being able to do that for like 8 years. You know? Even like going to school was very hard for me. Having to wake up at like 7 a.m. to go to school for like 8 o'clock, that's very hard. And, you know, at the start of high school, I was like, I don't want to take the bus anymore because these students are just like bullying me for no reason. Because, like, no mother type shit, you know? Whatever kids say nowadays. And, you know, that was even worse on me because now I don't want to wake up and I certainly don't want to walk all the way to school, which was like a 35, 40-minute walk from where I lived. I lived pretty far away from school, you know? And sure, I did the no bus thing to myself just because everyone that was on my bus, I just didn't want to be around. I hated them all. And they hated me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck I ever did to them. Besides just never talk to them, you know? Ooh, the popular kids, you know, oh, why are you ignoring me or whatever, you know? Because I don't care. I don't care about you, bro. You're a stranger to me. Why would I care about the popular kids when I was in school? You know, I don't care about y'all, bro. I know you think the world fucking revolves around you, but it doesn't. You know? Hopefully those people learned a lesson as they got into adulthood. Uh, you know? But, I don't know. Again, just literally a miracle happened this year. I literally don't know why, and I don't know what exactly happened. But, again, the point being is, yeah, I can think better. I can think clearer. You know, I'm focused on stuff that I want to be focused on. I literally have like 5 different projects on the go right now. You know, trying to start a business, trying to, you know, fix my channel again. Because right now we're in a recovery phase, so I'm trying to, you know, recover through, um, you know, all the mistakes I've made throughout the past years on the channel. With a very shitty computer, very shitty audio. You know, that's all very obvious to me, but you know, and then I haven't said starting a business yet, you know, and trying to make the new Fortnite map, which is almost ready to come out as well. You know, spending all this time learning. Um, I'm doing a lot every day. Like, I am very overwhelmed with everything I'm doing, but I'm addicted to it. I don't know why. I don't know how I can explain it differently, but as overwhelmed as I am with everything I'm trying to do every single day, I'm addicted to it. I like it. It's good. It's a good time. You know? And it feels like every other week I come up with another thing I want to start doing. And now I have to reach the point where I'm like, no, I like write it down, save it for another time. You know? I have so much stuff I'm trying to do every day. It's fucking insane. I'm trying to run my life like I'm Jeff Bezos or something, dude, which I'm not. But, you know, that's the price you have to pay if you want to be successful, I guess, is you have to be willing to sacrifice some years of your life or even some months if you can do it faster than I can, I suppose. But, you know, I don't know. I want a better life and I want a better future, you know. I want the life I've wanted since a kid. It it might be a little unrealistic, but you know, we live in the digital age nowadays, you know. And I turned down a multi-million-dollar deal back during COVID with TikTok just because I didn't like TikTok that much. Like, how stupid was I for that, bro? I was so dumb that I did that. But I did it just because I didn't like it that much, you know? Like, I definitely had big opportunities that I just turned down just because it wasn't for me. But, you know, now I'm at the point, at least this year, and probably for next year as well, I'm just at the point now where, you know, I love making content, don't get me wrong, but I do need to find some way to have a consistent source of income to come in. Because again, ever since COVID, I've been losing jobs every like 3 months because I just keep getting sick. And this year, I haven't gotten sick. Well, no, okay, no. I spent the entire month of fucking November being sick. You know, I only started feeling better just like a couple days ago, which really does suck, to be honest, that I've had to waste an entire fucking month being goddamn sick. You know? That's why now I'm telling everyone, like, if you're sick, just don't come near me. Don't come near me, don't breathe near me, don't sneeze near me, wash doorknobs and shit, you know? Because the entire month of November, I was supposed to be working on the business funding. Like, I am that close to having that in my hands. And I haven't been able to do the last fucking steps I need because I was fucking sick. You know? Like, that just sucks. A lot. That has put, like, a big halt on everything I'm trying to do. So, you know, forgive me and whatnot for wanting to fucking take care of myself and for other people to take care of themselves, but, like, I cannot risk getting sick again like this. And it wasn't even that bad, but, like, with all the coughing and sneezing and clearing my lungs out with, you know, with my throat and whatnot, I'm not able to be in meetings for hours. I'm not able to talk on the phone for hours like I need to be doing, you know? That's why I had to spend a lot of that time doing something else in the meantime, while I have the energy to, and I'm physically able to, but anything that requires, like, communicating with my voice, I just wasn't able to, because I wouldn't have been able to retain any information. Or I'd be like, what'd you say, every, like, 10 seconds, because I'm like, you know, clear my shit and whatnot. So, you know, that really put a halt onto a lot of the stuff I'm trying to do, for sure. That's put me behind an entire month. An entire month I'm behind right now. When I was doing this shit every day for like 6 months, aside from the month I pulled my nerve, that was another month I just couldn't do anything for the entire month, just because of how much pain I was in, you know? Shit like that can't happen. When I have this many things going on and I'm like this close to starting something, or to like finish starting something, shit like this cannot be happening. Just straight up. Shit like this cannot be happening to me. It just cannot. Okay? I don't have forever, okay? You know? As good as this year has been, I didn't even think I was going to make it to December still. You know? I just have that feeling in the back of my mind being like, this could be the year. Or this could be the month, this could be the week, this could be the day, where it all just ends, you know? And that fear is really driving me to just triple down on everything I'm doing, you know? So, hopefully, within the next week or two, I should realistically be able to get that money. Again, it's nowhere close to the amount I originally was trying to get, like best case scenario type of stuff, but, you know, if I was able to get the bare minimum, that would still be enough. It's going to be a lot harder to make it happen, but it still would be enough. As long as I can take 80 to 90% of that and just put it away, you know, keep it to where I don't need to look at it. And then when I need it, I pull out fucking like $50 or whatever it may be, for the subscription I need, you know, and then money for like advertising and stuff like that, you know. As long as I do the math properly, I would realistically have like 10 months to get one paying client. That is more than enough time. More than enough time. And then I can spend the rest of the money doing whatever once I do get my first client, because then the first client really fucking pays for everything. I'm gonna go into my papers right now just to remind myself of this. You know, for those of you that do like my business conversations, thank you, by the way. I know that some of you are motivated and you want me to teach you how to do this stuff, but again, I'm just not in a position to be able to teach it quite yet. I am able to tell you how I learned how to do it, you know, stuff like that, but is this the updated sheet? I think this is the updated sheet. So, again, you know, the original plan was to have a client pay like $1,000 for a setup fee, just because that was like the industry norm. You know, people will charge you $2,000-$3,000 to do what I want to do. You know, so I was like, this is already lowballing it for people. And then all they have to do is pay the monthly subscription, or not the monthly subscription, the monthly maintenance fees every month. And then I looked at the numbers. You know, I'm just gonna, I won't say the exact number, to be honest, but if I were to take just the maintenance costs that I'd be charging future clients, right? By the end of year one, if I was getting a client, one client a week, by the way, just one client a week, that'd be over $100,000. That is already above what people are making working in the goddamn government right now. Just gonna put that out there, okay? And that's just the maintenance fees. So I looked at that number, and then I looked at the, you know, the setup costs I was trying to charge people, and that would be like 24% of like how much I could be making just with the, you know, the monthly costs. That's when I sort of had like a light bulb moment. I was like, I make more charging people less money per month than I would charging a setup fee plus, you know, the setup or the maintenance costs, you know. And that's when I just had that light bulb moment. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do something that no one else is really willing to do in this industry, and that is to do the work for free, you know? But the only downside to that is I need money to put into it because I don't have the money to be able to put into it, you know? Once I have the money to put into it, I have at least one client, preferably like 2 to 3 is what I kind of want to get into, because that'll be on par. No, that'll be above minimum wage, actually. If I were to have like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 clients, that would already be above minimum wage, just as it is. But, you know, the whole idea now is that I will do the actual work itself for free because I make more money doing that. Crazy how that works. And then they just have to pay the monthly fees, essentially. And then, of course, I am starting, you know, business-to-business sales, because they can pay this fee no problem. They really can. This is like not even a dent in the wallet for them, to be honest. But in the future, I do want to have more, like a personal package for for normal people, so they would have to pay like I don't know, like $30 a month or whatever it may be, or whatever my minimum is. I think my minimum is what, 50 is the cheapest. Because if I can't log into the actual software I'm doing everything on, then I just can't do anything for these people, basically. So, as it stands right now, that is the only thing holding me back, is having the money to actually put into it so I can start calling people and actually start working on it. The foundation is there. Everything is ready to go. I have to update a lot of things now that it's been multiple months since I've been able to, update websites and update payment information, and, I need to update my terms of service and stuff like that, all that good stuff. But as it stands right now, business-wise, the only thing holding me back is literally just money. Money that I was used to getting before I turned like 20, 22, 21. I don't remember how old I was, but I would be getting more money than what I'm trying to ask for now per month. But the downside to that is, I didn't return to my job when I started doing this, because it's either you have all the time in the world and no money to put into it, or you have all the money in the world to put into it, but no time to do it, And I figured it would be better if I were to spend my time to put into this, to start a business, to get the foundation ready to go. Like, the business is ready to make money, but now, the downside is I don't actually have the money to start it. I don't have the money to put into it. But because this is all, an online business and stuff, it does need a lot, I won't say the exact amount of money I'm trying to get, just because I don't want to, like, expose myself and whatnot, have people hack my shit or whatever, but, I am trying to get the bare minimum. If not, then, like a little bit more than that, if possible. I would like a little bit, like, leeway there, but, bare minimum, it is still doable. It's probably going to take me like 2 or 3 months to really get everything sorted out properly, But once I have one client, then I can pay for everything myself already. Once I have 2 clients, then I can pay for food. Once I have 3 clients, I can start investing back into the business. And after that, after literally just 3 clients, the business pays for itself. That is literally it. Just 3 clients is all it takes. And now the business pays for itself. And now I am self-supportive. However you would say that. And then I can pay off my debts with whoever. I can afford food comfortably. I can pay my bills. I can upgrade my stuff. That's just all 3 clients. After that, it's smooth sailing. Nothing to worry about after that. Because honestly, I don't think clients would leave unless I do something crazy that they don't agree with. But my whole thing is, I want my packages and my websites and everything that is packaged into this business. I want it to be up to their standard. If it's not up to your vision, then you don't pay me yet until it is. Just straight up. I don't care if that takes 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. I do not care how long it takes. I really don't. I really don't, dude. I will take however long it takes to get this shit to where you want it to be, and then you pay me. And then you pay me. You don't pay me before. You pay me when it's done. And then you just have to keep paying me because the maintenance costs need to be a thing. Because if I don't do maintenance, or so, an employee doesn't do maintenance, then things go wrong very quickly. Someone has to do maintenance every single day. But, it takes like 5 minutes usually per client just to run maintenance and make sure everything's good. So, very easy job to do, I could probably easily handle like 20 clients just on my own without like any employees or anything like that. every day to spend like an hour, even 2 hours, just doing maintenance for everyone every day. And then that would be it, you know? After like 5 clients, I could just straight up just stop getting more clients if I wanted to and just do the easy stuff. Just maintenance. 10 minutes per person? That's like 50 minutes. That's less than an hour it would take per day just to do maintenance on 5 people. And I could literally just stop working after that if I realistically wanted to and still live somewhat comfortably. Not perfectly, but, more comfortably for sure. But, the whole idea for the business is to get 1 client a week. If you're really good at that, you can do that in 1 single day. Probably less than 8 hours. If I can find someone that's really good at selling to people, that's my go-to person right now, for sure. If I can find someone that is very experienced in that field, because that's all you need to do. You could take the rest of the week off after that if you realistically wanted to, Just 1 client a week, bare minimum. 1 client a week. That's the target goal. And I'd be making over $100,000 on year 1. Just for 1 client a week. Less than 8 hours a week of fucking work. Minus the actual packaging. That's where, my time to shine is and whatnot. So, I have most of the work to do when it comes to building the website and social media posts and getting everything updated again and getting all the bank details on there and changing up my terms of services and all that fucking shit. There's a lot of stuff I need to catch up on now just because I haven't been able to log into it for like multiple months because I don't have money to. But again, all I need is just enough money to get me through that period of bare minimum 3 clients. After that, smooth sailing from there on out. I can handle everything from there. I can pay off my debts from there very easily, But I need a provider that is willing to, have a grace period until that point if possible. Let's say, for example, I have like $1,000 and I'm paying back like $20 a month. I am perfectly okay with taking $20 out of that 1,000 to pay that off. I am perfectly okay with that. That's not a concern to me whatsoever. Totally fine by me. I can live with that and still make it work. But now, if it's like $300 a month, that's a different story. That only gives me, what? That'd give me like 4 months, maybe? I don't know. But, I need to find someone, and I think I have found the company that is willing to help me. But I just need that time to get 3 clients, That could take a month. That could take like 3 months. It really depends on what's going on. I'm doing all of this on my own. If I had someone that was really good at sales, like top of the top when it comes to sales, they could probably do that in like 1 week. Getting 3 clients on board, easy for them to do. Not easy for me because I wasn't trained to do that. I have to learn how to do that. And that's what my last job was actually. It was going door-to-door sales, which was perfect for me because that was like almost foreshadowing what I was getting myself into with this, building a business and whatnot. It taught me everything I needed to know. It really did. All that's left from here on out is to put in the reps, put in the hours, put in the effort, and to just do your best and to not get discouraged, I could make like 500 calls in like fucking 4 hours or whatever and not have a single person, want to buy my shit. Obviously, that is not a good metric to work with, but, it's a possibility. I don't think it's going to be a possibility after month 1, for sure. Like, there's definitely going to be like a couple weeks where I'm just kind of learning my, what to say, what not to say, how to say it, who my target audience is outside of business owners. Like, maybe roofers don't really want to do it, but like pool cleaners are more like leaning towards it, because I can work with just basically any business ever. I really can. I really can, dude. It's crazy. I can work with basically whoever, as long as they have the money for it, basically. But, you know, I guess you could argue that, the past months that I haven't had the money orders from people, but that just, I don't know how I would word that to people. Like, hey, this is what I do. This is what my company is about. Here's what I could do for you. But before I can do it, can I just get some money from you? And then like put you on like a waiting list? And then, once I start, I'll touch base with you again. Like that just doesn't make much sense to me. Versus here's everything I'm doing, here how much it costs, are you interested, yes or no, type of thing, Like a proper pitch versus, yeah, I'm just trying to take pre-orders from people. Like I'm sure that's a thing I could be doing for sure, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel right to me. Because now I'm like promising something to people that they don't even know exists yet. And I don't know, this doesn't feel right to me to do that to people. Especially if I like got mugged or something afterwards, that just wouldn't be good. But, that's a possibility, number and whatnot, before we get into Q1 of next year. But, again, the only thing holding me back business-wise is money right now. That is the only thing holding me back. And that is why I, started these other side projects on top of this. Building a Fortnite map, doubling down on content properly, rather than just kind of doing whatever I want to do, because there's money in there too, for sure. I just have to earn it, and that takes time. A lot of this takes time. All of this takes time. And that's that's the one thing I struggle with is things taking time. And I hate it. God, I hate it so much. I really do. I don't have endless amounts of fucking time, But that's just where we're at. Business-wise, that's where we're at. Year-wise right now, I've been slaving away for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. However long it's been. This audio thing keeps popping up, by the way. I don't know why that keeps happening. I should probably end this soon. Until I can figure out what the fuck that is. But, that's just... I know we went on multiple tangents there trying to get to one singular point, but, that is why I am more focused on money now than I, from previous years, Like, I've literally been homeless before, and that was, when I had the most money is literally when I was homeless. Crazy. Totally makes sense when you think about it, because, like, what bills am I paying? What rent am I paying? Whatever, but I literally had more money to my name when I was fucking homeless. And I just think that's sad, That was the richest I was when I was fucking homeless. It's crazy to think about. It really is. I feel, again, when you really think about it, that it makes sense, but, I would have been, what? I've been homeless twice. So, like, I was homeless once when I was 18, I think. And then the second time, I'm pretty sure it was the year afterwards. Because I just kind of walked out both times. First time, totally justified. It was either that or I, take my life and whatnot because my dad is abusive and ruining my entire life and whatnot. So that's why I went homeless the first time. Second time, totally my fault. I just, the people I was living with, they didn't like that I was making content all the time. They didn't like that I was, in my room all the time because for some reason people fucking think that, like, I'm being a lazy piece of shit or whatever people want to think. When in reality, I'm spending countless hours learning. I'm literally starting a fucking business. From the same room, people tell me, like, oh my god, he's in his room all the time. Oh god, whatever, fuck it. It is what it is, dude. I'm sacrificing these years of my life to be successful, okay? That's what most people won't do, is take the first step. Most people don't do that because it's fucking terrifying. Do I wish I could, be back to the way I used to be? Having all these friends, going out to, like, party here and there, and whatnot. Like, I miss that. I certainly do. I miss hanging out with people constantly. I genuinely do. I genuinely do miss that. But if I was doing all those things, I wouldn't be in the position I am right now. You know? It's not like I'm just fucking sitting here scrolling through fucking TikTok all fucking day, rotting my brain like everyone else seems to be. You know? I'm actually doing something with my time. And I'm forcing myself to get through all of it. You know? No one's motivating me to do fucking anything. If anything, people are trying to like demotivate me. A lot of people the past like 5 years have been like, dude, you can't do that. Or like, hang out with us more or whatever, you know, the past like 5 years. And, you know, I get it. You know, this probably isn't the healthiest choice I'm making. You know? But clearly, you know, like this year has affected me in a good way. Again, mentally I'm better. Physically I'm better. I'm still not perfect. This is probably like 20% better. But if this is what a percentage of feeling better feels like, then, dude, if I hit the peak of feeling better, I'm gonna be like just a totally different person. I'm gonna be like actual Jesus. I swear to God, dude, it's crazy. This is just a small percentage of feeling better this year. This is like a little taste of what I've been missing in life. And I still can't run a marathon quite yet, you know? Like I don't have that kind of energy yet, but if this is how good just a percentage feels, dude, I want to see what the peak feels like. I really do. I really do. This has been the best year of my entire life, aside from all the bad shit that's happened. And most of the year I've just spent doing shit that I'm working on. It's still been one of the best years of my entire life. You know? And, you know, I guess on top of that, you know, sacrificing these years of my life to wanting to be successful and whatnot, you know, that does come at a cost, you know? Like, I don't really have any friends anymore because they're all gone now, you know? A lot of my extended family doesn't really talk to me anymore just because they don't really have anything to say anymore, you know? Because people look at me like I'm just, like I'm a, like I don't know, like I'm just like a sin to society, you know? And I get that, you know? I wasn't afraid to take off my mask and be truthful, you know? A lot of people hide who they are, they fake who they are, and all that fucking bullshit. I'm just me. I'm just myself. And people don't like that. People are scared of that. Because they can't do that. Or they're too scared to try doing that, you know? And that's just a true fact about society, you know? Like if you're not brainwashed like everyone else, you know, trying to slave away to make someone else's fucking life better, they don't like you because you're different. They don't like different. They like it the way they were told it was supposed to be. And I'm just one of those just somewhat lucky people that have sort of woke up to that reality. You know? This is not how we were supposed to live. This is how they forced us to live. To make their lives better. You know? If you really stop to think about it for like an hour and just like sit down with your thoughts about it, it's very depressing. Like you might shed a tear or two just thinking about it, you know? The fact that your parents, my parents, even their parents, and their parents before that, too, were just lied to. Their entire lives. Even milk. How many of y'all drink fucking milk every day, dude? Probably a lot of you. Did you know humans are not even supposed to drink milk like that? We're supposed to have like a cup of milk like once a week. But, you know, they told our parents and their parents, like, hey, milk is so good for you. We added all this other vitamins to make it seem like it's really good for you. That was all a lie. I mean, no, they did add stuff to make it good for you and whatnot, but they only told society to drink milk and that is good for you because they had all this milk they didn't know what to do with. All these farmers had like millions of fucking liters of milk. They didn't know what to do with it. So they convinced the entire world as a whole, drink milk every day. You know, give you stronger bones or whatever. It'll make you feel good. It's good for you. Just to find out the older you get, the less your body can tolerate dairy. Specifically cow milk, you know? That is why if you're in your 20s now, or maybe if you're in your 30s now, you'll realize that like you can't drink milk as good, or you know, like even like a bowl of cereal. You're like, oh, my stomach feels kind of weird. And that's because we were never meant to drink that much milk. They forced us to. They brainwashed us into thinking we needed to. We didn't. They just wanted more money because they didn't know what to do with all that milk, dude. They didn't want the milk to go bad. Well, I mean, like that's the reality we live in, bro. And if you still can't like accept shit like that and just like wake the fuck up, then I don't like I don't know. You know, you can be a zombie in life, you know, slaving away to make someone else's life better. You know, if that's where you find enjoyment, you know, working your way until fucking retirement just to die like 3 years later, go for it, I guess. If that's really what you want to do, go for it. But if you have even the slightest thought in the back of your mind where you're like, my life could be so much more, I could be more, you know, this is how we're supposed to live, embrace the fuck out of that, okay? It is going to be horrifying. Don't get me wrong. This is like, you know, you stare at the abyss stares back at you type of thing, you know? And then it's like there's a crossroad you come to when you get to that point. And, you know, a lot of people go down the wrong road. And they, you know, they drive themselves into like insanity, basically, you know? Or you can go down the other path, like I am, where I've woken up to the lies of the world, you know? We're not meant to live the way they fucking force us to. This is not what we were meant to do at all. This is not what we're here for. You know? Again, if you like being stuck where you are and, you know, doing whatever, go for it, I guess, but for the rest of us, we know the truth, you know? We're capable of so much more. And people don't like that. Okay? People will try to cut you down, for sure. Or, you know, you can tell someone, hey, you know, I want to start making content because I can make thousands of dollars a month, or even millions of dollars a year, you know, or I want to start a business, or whatever. And people will straight up tell you, like family, friends, and whoever, will straight up tell you, oh, don't do it, or you can't do it, or that's not like you, that's not for you, you wouldn't make it, you know? And that's not them being like, you're not worth it. That's them being like, I don't want you to be more successful than I am. They want you to stay down there with them. They really do. They really do. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth, man. It really is. And you know, if you haven't caught on to that yet, now you know, I suppose. But it doesn't matter what you're doing. People will try and cut you down. But you'll quickly learn that all the other people that also want to be successful, or the people that already are successful, will support you. Everyone else, they don't care. They don't want you to be successful. They really don't. They want you to suffer like the rest of them. But the people that are successful, or that are trying to be, they will support you wholeheartedly. Like, it's insane. This entire month I've been sick. So many of these people that I'm, you know, in communications with right now to get everything figured out, they were just like, dude, don't even worry about it. Wait until you're 100% fine and then get back onto it. You may be a month behind, that's okay. Get better first. Like, I'm not used to that. Whenever I'm sick and shit, people are like, dude, do something. You know? The rest of us have to do something, so go do something. You know? That's just the way people are. But everyone else that's in the same boat with me, they're all like, dude, just get better, bro. No worries. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just never felt support like that before. Just kind of ever, to be honest. And it's a really good feeling, too. You know, it feels good to be supported. To have people encourage you and whatnot. Instead of trying to cut you down and all that stuff. Anyway. That was one of the longest tangents I have ever went on in my entire existence. You know, some videos I talk for like 5 hours straight. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, the fact that you guys haven't really heard much from me this month, just because I was sick and whatnot, it's crazy that I can still just turn on, you know, I could just hit start and just start talking, you know. I can't do that every day, don't get me wrong, but it's nice that I can still do that, you know. Even though I haven't really talked much this month. That's because I wasn't fucking able to. But anyway, Yeah, so I'm gonna stop that conversation now because holy shit, that went on for way too long. It's only 4 o'clock now. That is insane that I just talked for that long. That's crazy. Without, like, a break. That's rough. No wonder why my throat's so dry right now and starting to hurt a little bit. Sorry for rambling for so goddamn long, but I felt like it was necessary, you know? I had to update everyone on what's going on. Had to give my opinion on, the Fortnite event and whatnot. Talk about some future plans that I'm, working on and promote myself, of course. And, yeah. I think that's it that I can talk about right now. Like I said, hopefully within the next week or two, but ideally before, like, Christmas time, I want to have the business funding in my bank account to start putting in the work. Because Christmas and, like, New Year's is, like, the perfect time for deals, bro. If I miss that, I'm gonna hate myself, to be quite honest. I'm gonna just be so disappointed that I have to wait an entire year to get those kind of deals again, It's like the best time. And we're being Q1 of next year too, which is the perfect time. All the businesses are just on the same page. If I missed that, now I'm coming in like Q2 or Q3, and now everyone's being like, dude, we already done this already. Like, you're late to the party kind of thing, So, I'm going to be, I'm going to try and catch up on this entire month of being behind. Like, I'm right now, like I said, I'm behind an entire month right now. And I'm going to try and do everything within, 2 weeks, if possible. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very draining. It's going to be very time consuming. It's going to be exhausting physically and mentally. It's going to be very hard to pull off. But, I wasn't supposed to be behind an entire fucking month. I'm literally going into December, I was supposed to, like, be ready to start getting clients. Like, that was the entire goal, was to spend the entire month of November and January getting clients to pay me. That was the whole point. That was the entire goal. That was the entire goal, bro. Now I'm behind an entire month, which is bad. And, like, if I don't catch up quick enough, like, it is what it is, I guess. I'm only human. I'm only one person and whatever, but I definitely need to catch up as fast as possible. And I need to guarantee myself that I will not get sick again like that. Sure, the sickness wasn't super severe, but it was ruining my ability to communicate and talk and do phone calls and do meetings and all that stuff, and even just to sleep and think, That's the kind of stuff I just cannot be doing right now. I can't be getting sick right now. Sure, it's the first time I got sick all year, which I'm grateful for, because I was getting sick every two months, basically, for the past, like, 4 or 5 years. So, like, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that it's only been one time so far, but at the same time, I need to make sure that I understand to myself and that everyone else also understands that I just cannot get sick again right now. Like, it just cannot happen. If I'm behind 2 more months, dude, it's over. It's pretty much over after that. Like, that is so much stuff I have to catch up on. It's ridiculous. And I can't let that happen. I am so close to, like, the finish line, which is also the starting line. I'm almost at the end to the start. As weird as that sounds, I had to put in 7, 8 months of work just to be able to start. That's why most people can't do it. Because that's a lot of time. People don't have that kind of time. They don't have the patience for that. But I do, So, if all goes well, I should hopefully have that ready before Christmas. Hopefully. And then I guess everyone will be forced to take Christmas break for like a week or two, probably. Probably like a week. And then, yeah, worst case scenario, we're probably looking at, like, starting in January, I guess, which is still in Q1, which is good, but I would like to have everything ready to go for the start of the year, I don't want to go into next year and being like, oh, I still have like 10 meetings I need to do and all this shit. Like, I don't want to be in that position. I want to be ready for the start of the year. I want to start like day 1 or technically day 2 because everyone's going to take New Year's off or whatever, but you know, that's the plan, man. Even though I'm behind an entire month, I'm still going to try and make this magic happen the best I can. You know, I got everything written down, everything I need, everything I need to do. I'm going to just try my goddamn hardest to make this happen. I'm going to try and get a little bit more money out of it too, if possible. Just kind of raise that up a little bit more. You know, the bare minimum is good, don't get me wrong, but I would like a little extra, just, you know, to be sure. And so I can afford food and whatnot and all that stuff. But yeah, we're almost there. We should have been there right now. But again, I got sick at the start of November, so nothing I can do about that. Besides just take fucking 3 weeks to fucking recover. But yeah, you know, business-wise, that's where we're at. That is where we're at right now. Very close. So close to being able to start. And then I will have to take, you know, probably a week or two to refresh my knowledge on everything and, you know, update everything. And now that I have a business bank account, I need to change that over from my personal bank account and stuff like that. Assuming they don't close my personal or my business bank account right now, because I did start getting fees, like, you know, as soon as the month started, basically. So it's only $6 a month, so it's even cheaper than my personal bank account is, to be honest with you. But you know, that is only going lower and lower into the negatives at the moment, which does suck, to be fair. But again, you know, like, that's not hard to pay off once I have the money to put into it. You know, that's not bad. $6 a month, that's nothing to really be concerned about. Now, if this was like a year later, then yeah, that's something to maybe concern about. But it's only been like, what, 3 months now, I think? So I think we just reached like the $20 mark, I think, for the negatives. But I just hope they don't shut it down, because all I need is the money. That's all I'm waiting for right now. That's all I need to put in my effort into, is to getting money. A certain amount of money, to be specific. You know, like $10 is not really gonna, you know, be the saving grace here. You know, it's not how business works. But you know, if I can get to my target goal, or even above it, and you know, have that time to, you know, put into getting some clients, then we should just be good. You know, if plan like fucking F fails me, then, you know, I have to get like a part-time job or something. Do that for like a month or two and save every dollar fucking possible. And then we would be in the clear again. But if I can avoid that, I'd rather avoid that, because I want more time and I don't want to just leave another fucking job again. Being like, oh yeah, I got what I needed. You know, I'm gonna head out now. See you. You know, I don't want that. I don't want to be in that scenario again. You know, it's not good. It's not good it's not good on your resume. It's not good, on like your, you know, employee profiles and whatnot. It's just not a good look, and employers do not like that at all. And I completely understand why. So, you know, if this plan fails, then I need to find another way to make money. And right now we have what? I have the business funding that I'm trying to get. And then we have the Fortnite map, or future Fortnite maps if they do well. And then also YouTube content. I don't think YouTube content would pay me enough if we get 1,000 subscribers, because that's the only thing holding me back from getting ad revenue. Unless I tried to come up with some crazy viral like idea to just get like tens of thousands of dollars just like in a month. But then I'm still waiting an entire month to actually get that money anyway. So, you know, as much as I need to get ad revenue on YouTube again, it's not going to, like, you know, pay for everything right away for sure. Like, I don't have the views for that. I don't have the subscribers for that and whatnot. My views are good. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, they're not like millions of views or anything like that. But you know, it would be enough to make like 100, 200, maybe even $300 a month. Which you know, I could put towards like a better audio, a better microphone, you know, a better computer and stuff like that. You know, so. And then if the Fortnite map does well, or if my future Fortnite maps do well, that could be thousands of dollars in a month. Although you get paid the month after you are projected to make that amount of money, basically. So let's say in November I was supposed to make like $5,000 from my Fortnite map. I wouldn't get that money until December because they take 30 days to, you know, make sure everything's legit and to make sure you're actually gonna get it on time and stuff like that. Um, but if the Fortnite map does do well, or my future ones do well, then that already pays for everything I need to pay and more. Like, that puts me in a very good position. But that's not going to happen if the maps don't do well, you know? And all it is playtime. All people need to do is play for like 15 minutes or more. And then, you know, I just need to constantly, you know, do updates and stuff like that. So basically, the longer people play for, the more money you basically will earn, essentially. And then, you know, if I get the funding, the business funding I'm trying to get, I could put some of that money towards like advertising for the Fortnite map, technically, to sort of promote it to like thousands and thousands of people, but I'm not gonna do that on my first map because, you know, this is more of like a testing period for me more than anything. As proud as I am of it, it's definitely nothing like too crazy. I mean, it's crazy to me because I learned all of this stuff, but you know, I don't expect my first map to take off. Needless to say, because I'm doing it in Fortnite Creative, like just on Fortnite itself, rather than like the computer application where I'm able to like code everything and stuff. You know, I'm not doing it the new way to do it. I'm doing it the old way to do it. But you know, if that's able to generate some income, that probably pays for everything just right then and there. I'm gonna have to wait an entire 30 days of getting that money to actually get paid for it, which would be a little sucky, but you know, even then I wouldn't be able to start the business. And then, you know, get even more money. And then I can upgrade my computer, and then I can make better maps with cutscenes and voice acting and use the actual entire fucking map and not just like a small corner of it, you know? Because I'm very limited on what I can do right now. But if it takes off, I'll be in a very good position. Then I can finally stay true to my word for you guys, you know? For the past 12 years, I keep saying, when I become successful, you guys are coming with me. To everyone that supported me, you know, every like, every view, every share, every subscriber, you know, whatever it may be, to everyone that supports me, even just in like my personal life too, you know, people that encourage me, people that like don't talk down to me or like talk shit about me or whatever, you know, if you're making my life genuinely better, or like you're trying to support me in some sort of way, there's gonna be some benefits for you there, if I become successful, or when I become successful, you know. Like, I'm totally okay with just dropping off like $10,000 to someone just because they like bought me a fucking coffee or something, you know? Like, I'm that crazy. I'm crazy enough to do that. I really am, you know? And to everyone that didn't support me, they get nothing, you know? Fuck it. Stay down there. I'm gonna climb the stairs to greatness. And you can stay where you fucking deserve to stay. But to everyone that does support me, you know, there will be some sort of reward there for everyone in some sort of way, you know. Everyone I know in person, I can literally just give them cash money, you know. To everyone that supports me online, I can't just send you cash because that's illegal technically, so I can't just do that, unfortunately. But, you know, we can do like challenges, or I guess technically gift cards aren't legal, but you know, I can't do it like a lottery system because that's also illegal to do. You can't run like lotteries and stuff on the internet. So don't fall for that when content creators are like, oh, we'll pick one lucky winner or whatever. You can't really do that. Good Mythical Morning does have a way to sort of get around that because people have to, like, there has to be a way for them to not pay anything and still have a chance to win, basically. But again, that is very, very thin ice on the internet, so you don't want to do that. But if it's like a competition style, then, you know, the winner takes whatever home and whatnot, or like the top 10 people, or whatever it may be, whatever your rules are. But, you know, if it wasn't going to be a competition, then everyone would need to win, essentially. Everyone would need, like, the same type of prize, basically. But, you know, that's just, I'm going to stay true to my word for sure. I've been saying it for 12 years. I ain't going to turn back on my word now, bro. To anyone that supports me, either on the internet or in person, whatever it may be, when I make it to become successful, there will be something there for you too. I'm not just going to leave everyone behind, okay? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I've been saying it for 12 damn years. And I'm very convinced that I will not do that to people. Like everyone else does, dude. You give everyone the world and you never see them again, bro. And that just makes me sad for everyone that supports those people. You know, I won't be like that. I will not be like that. Guarantee you. Literally on my mother's grave, I guarantee you I will not do that to you, okay? Straight up. And if I don't make it, then, well, I guess I die trying, I suppose. Wasted my life for fucking nothing instead of just trying to have fun like everyone else, you know? Fucking whoever I want, doing whatever I want, you know? That's not what I'm here for, though. I could certainly do those things in the future, don't get me wrong, but right now that's not my goal. I'm not here to just have a good time in life right now. I'm here to fucking be successful and have a name for myself. To be able to support financially, physically, mentally, whatever it may be, you know? I want to be a father in the future. I mean, I'm getting pretty old now. I'm 25, so I'm kind of running out of time for that, to be honest. But, you know, future plans and whatnot. I'm not going to be like everyone else. I'm just not. I'm not going to be wasting these years I have right now. Just partying and drinking and all that shit. And just being in relationship, in and out, you know? That's not what I'm here for. It's what I was here for back in high school, don't get me wrong, but I'm different now. I've literally been single for 3 years. That's the longest time I ever been single. The longest time I ever been single before that was probably like 4 months. Because after every relationship, I'd get back into another one. You know? Not to, like, brag or anything, because I don't think it's anything to brag about, considering none of my relationships have ever been good, aside from one. All my other relationships have treated me very, very, very poorly. But, you know, that's just the sacrifices you need to make. If you want to be successful, you have to make sacrifices. You really do. You know, I'm not saying, you know, break up with your partner and be single for 3 years like I am. I'm not saying do that. But the sacrifices you need to make. Time is important. No distractions are important. You know, having the discipline to just sit down and work for 9, 10, 11 hours plus every single day with no breaks for weeks. You know, that is just something, these are sacrifices you have to make, dude. It really is. The first step is the hardest step, dude. The first step is starting. People can't do that because they realize how hard it is. But I'm in the thick of it, dude. I am in the trenches. I am in, like, the fucking tsunami of the trenches, bro. Like, I am in that shit, fucking mud in my face right now. And I am still crawling through it. Because I've made up my mind, you know? I don't want to be like everyone else. I don't want to be fucking stuck fucking working until I'm, like, fucking 70 and then retire and then die in, like, 5 years. No, I'm probably not even going to live to fucking 70 anyways. So what's the point? The fuck is the point? Why do that when I could retire in, like, fucking 5 years from now? I could be 30 and retired. Good time to start a fucking family, dude. Good time. Good time to do that. Get married even. I don't know about that one still, but yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance. If she's actually worth my fucking time. Because, like I said, most of my partners have not been worth my time. I just thought they were, but they weren't. Wasted a lot of fucking time on those people, bro. A lot of money on them too. Oh my god. Don't even get me started. But that's my fault for not thinking clearly, I guess. Love is blind and whatnot. Anyway, so yeah, that is quite literally everything that I can talk about for this video. I know. I know I've been rambling for another fucking like 30 minutes again. It is what it is, but I just wanted to get all those topics out before I forget them. Because we haven't really had many updates this month. I think I had an update like last week when I was like able to talk a little bit more, but still not perfectly. But now that I'm certainly feeling better, not perfect, I'm still not quite there yet, but definitely a lot better than I was like 2 weeks ago for sure. But, I just wanted to get these conversations out while I'm able to. And just because I know that as soon as Monday hits, I'm going to be quite busy. Not that I'm fucking not busy as it is, but I'm going to be way more busy than I've been probably all year. I have an entire month to catch up on. That's going to be so much effort on my part, as well as on top of everything else I'm trying to do. It's going to be very, 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 very fucking hard to make this happen in the time frame that I wanted to. But I'm not giving up, dude. I refuse. I refuse to give up. Anyway, that's going to do it for my throat. Just fucking gives up and I can't talk for the rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed the event. It was cool. It was awesome. It wasn't as long as people thought it was going to be. It was good, though. It was some Avengers Endgame type shit. It was great. I didn't think we were actually going to kill the, what's his name? The Dark Lord? The Dark Presence? Demon Lord? I don't know. I think it's called the Dark Presence. I didn't think we were actually going to kill him, to be honest. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be like Thanos type stuff where everyone just dies. And then, the power of friendship type of shit just happens to save everyone and bring them back or whatever. But, no, it was a good event. The lead up, or the teaser, the Chapter 7, is also good too. Everything has been leaked, though, already, so there's not really... Everything that's going to happen we already know about, basically, up to this point now. Or everything past this point, I should say. But the event itself, very good. And I feel like the story is going to be very good, too. And I feel like this is going to be a turning point for Fortnite. A lot of people are feeling the same way. But I've also caught on to the fact that Fortnite does this quite often, We're always like, wow, this is great. And then like a couple seasons go by and we're like, wow, this guy sucks. And that's why I would take breaks for so long, which we got into a whole conversation about that, and I'll make a separate video about that as well. I was going to try and have that out before Chapter 7 comes out, but fuck, we got like, what, 5 hours left until Chapter 7 starts? I hope I'm awake for this, dude. I really do. I'm going to do my best to be awake for this moment. Because I'm excited. And I also need to talk about my map and stuff. Yeah, so, use my creator code, TheTrueAura, in the item shop. Much appreciated to everyone that does that, by the way. And you can check out my creator profile in the description. That'll take you to my Fortnite creator page. Because I'm a Epic partner now, which is very cool to be able to say that officially. Hell yeah, very awesome. I am like 7 years fucking behind everyone else, but that's fine. At least I made it, Officially an Epic partner. Very cool. Very awesome. There's a lot of opportunities there, as long as I, stay up with it and whatnot. That sounds weird. As long as I keep up with it, that sounds a little bit better. And, yeah. Make sure you subscribe if you are new and you're watching either now or in the past or somehow in the future. Make sure you drop a like if you liked the event or you just liked me rambling for 2 hours after the event. Then you can do that too. Let me know in the comments what you guys are excited for Chapter 7. If you you know, maybe you've taken a break like I did for a while, or maybe, you know, you've been here every single season, every chapter. You know, let me know your thoughts, because I do want to make a video just talking about that. And to everyone on Kick, thank you for your support as well. I'm sorry that I can't read both chats at the same time. I only have one phone, and my computer's not good enough to even read one chat, so I use my phone. So to everyone on Kick, thank you so much. Make sure you guys are subscribing and following as well. Very much appreciated. And I think that's it for promotion. I think that's everything. I could be wrong, but I think that's everything. We talked about everything I wanted to talk about. We did the event. Yeah, that is quite literally everything. So, thank you all for sticking around. Appreciate every single one of you. Much love. And yeah, I don't know if I'll be awake for the start of Chapter 7. That's going to be around like 10:30ish, I think. I don't know if I'll be awake for that. If I am awake, then we might have like an hour before I go to bed or something. I don't know, but I'll try and figure it out. Hopefully I will be awake though, because I'm excited for this, the new chapter to start. Looks very promising. And I know everyone else is going to be very excited too. People are going to be milking this as much as they can. So, yeah. And just keep an eye out for the Call of Duty Zombies inspired map that I have been working on the entire time I've been sick this month. You know, I would spend about, I want to say like 8 hours plus every day just trying to get all those mechanics down and build the map and whatnot. So, you know, as limited as I am in what I'm able to create, I think I did a really good job. And I think you guys will be excited. And hopefully it's not a complete fail, to be honest. I mean, I can only do better from here, to be fair, but, you know, I don't have a map code or anything quite yet to be able to share because I haven't published it yet because I'm still setting up everything and checking for bugs and whatnot, but it should be ready soon. I did want to release it like this week, but because Chapter 7's starting, I'm going to delay it by a little bit just to give people time to check out, you know, the new chapter first. Because if I release it now, no one's going to see it, basically, because they're all going to be busy, you know, checking out what's new and whatnot. So, you know, unfortunately, I do have to delay it by a little bit, but once that's done, we should be good. And then everyone can check it out. I'm going to need some testers for that to just check for some bugs and glitches and stuff like that so I can update anything. I can't really add anything else because I don't have enough memory left to be able to do that, unfortunately. But everything I do want is there. There's a few known like bugs that I need to fix somehow. But either way, my first, well, technically my second, but my first custom map should be ready to go soon. It's very close, and then I just need to make some trailers and stuff like that, and some promotional material, and then yeah, should be good. So hopefully you're excited, because I'm excited. I didn't spend 3 weeks on this for no reason, you know, other than just to learn how to do it, basically, I guess. But I'm just excited for it, and I hope you guys are too. And yeah, I think I've talked for way too long. My throat is hurting a lot from talking so fucking much without fucking taking like time to drink water and whatnot. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed both YouTube and Kick. I apologize for all the issues we had at the start. Blah 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 blah. I'm fucking talking too much. Okay, I apologize. Okay, love you all. You're the best. Hopefully we'll see you later. If not, I'll see you Sunday probably. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. And then yeah, next week and the following weeks, I'm just going to be quite overwhelmed with everything as I'm trying to catch up on a month's fucking delay. So, yeah, so bear with me. This is going to be very rough on me and just trying to get everything sorted out here. And yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.